causes lung cancer. The Surgeon General issued this warning because radon can cause lung cancer. Radon is an invisible radioactive gas that seeps inside your home from underground. Protect your family. Have your home tested. Call 1-800-SOS-RADON. Radon problems can be fixed.
Your Ohio headlines every 15 minutes and Ohio weather on the 10s. Eleanor Hayes and Erica Robbins on Ohio Today. Weekday afternoons on ONN.
Everybody here, they team captain, all state, this and that, and it's like everybody on the same playing field. So you going out here showing what you can do.
Make a tackle, I'm just like, I can't believe I just did that with these guys. Like, he's an all-star, and it's just like sometimes like you just feel so surprised. It feels so surreal sometimes. And I just can't wait to just go out there and play.
I mean, they're not coming to the game to watch some fat old guy stand on the sideline, okay? They're coming to watch these guys run up and down the field. So I got to be smart enough to get these guys the ball and let them do what they can do.
It's the granddaddy of high school football all-star games, the Grange Insurance North-South Classic. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Columbus Crew Stadium in the culmination of a week-long of events here in Columbus for the Grange Insurance North-South Classic. Along with Dan DeCrow, I'm Dave Bacon. And Dan, you look at this, and this is really a celebration for the football players in Ohio, the best football players in the class of 2007.
It truly closes the book on the high school career of all of these guys, and it's such a special event because this is the opportunity to build friendships, to meet some of the guys that you're going to be playing college football either with or against. And we have state champions represented. We have future Big Ten players. We have future Ohio State Buckeyes represented tonight here at Crew Stadium. It's going to be a great, great football game.
And we will get into that as we go, but we called it the granddaddy of all. It is the 62nd annual, longest-running all-star game for high school football in the entire country, top game in the Midwest, and it's been played all over the state since back in 1945.
And the roster of players who have been in the North-South Classic is like a who's who of NFL stars. We'll tip you off to some of the great names a little bit later throughout the entire game, but we're going to see some future football stars on display tonight.
Absolutely, and you touched on it. Big Ten guys, Mid-American Conference guys, some guys that will play in Division III football, and some that this will be their last football game that they play. For all of them, playing in the North-South Classic, a great honor.
Well, you know, high school team, these kids are the real deal, going to be like the future in football, you know, next couple years. So, I mean, I think everyone kind of knows that's here, and other people that's watching it, and that's why it's so special.
I was real excited because I went from sophomore riding the bench JV to All-Ohio Center in like 2 years. So, I mean, it was a big jump from nothing to everything.
I had All-Ohio honors and local honors and, you know, even regional and Midwest honors. But the playing this game, you know, I had a family member that played in it, and he told me about it, and it was really special because you get to come here and play with a bunch of special guys.
Grab the program sometime and read the guys who were the head coaches, guys who have played in the game. If you're any kind of football fan in Ohio, to be a part of this game is something special.
And there you see the Buddy, and that's part of the Buddy program, and just a special week, a week-long of events going on down here in Columbus.
Now it's almost game time, so one final opportunity for these guys to play high school football as the prep stars that we've watched for 3 and 4 years here in Ohio.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll learn more about the entire week of events here with the North-South Classic presented by Grange Insurance. You're watching it live on ONN.
Empty nesters are downsizing these days. To some, that means a smaller house. To others, it's moving to a less populated area.
It has a CD player, an adjustable suspension. You just dial in your weight.
I'm not dialing in anything.
At Grange, we sell our policies through local independent agents. So as your needs change, Grange is there to back you.
Protect the ones you love. Call Brimner Insurance Agency in Logan at 740-385-3150.
Our specialty is helping those who need it the most. See how we're helping in your community. Visit volunteersofamerica.org.
Today's discovery on Pediatric Health Source.
In the past year, the emergency department here at Columbus Children's Hospital has cared for more than 120,000 children. Young lives depending on often life-saving emergency medicine. That makes Columbus Children's the third busiest network of emergency and urgent care centers in the entire country. The care given every hour of every day has earned Columbus Children's the Child Magazine ranking as the #2 emergency department in the nation.
As both a mom and a doctor, I know how important good emergency care is for the patients and their scared families.
A group of emergency nurses developed guidelines to keep families and children together at the bedside.
From trauma to urgent care, it's comforting for parents to discover one of the nation's biggest and best emergency and trauma centers is just minutes away.
Pediatric Health Source is an educational public service project brought to you by 10 TV, the Columbus Dispatch, and Columbus Parent.
Wellington Orthopedic and Sports Medicine congratulates these athletes on their selection to the South All-Star team. Steve Bray of Cincinnati Turpin, Calvin Dixon of Colerain, Wes Schroeder of Cincinnati St. Xavier, and Kendrick Bruton and Alex Kaufman attending Miami University in the fall.
I'm Phil Urban, President and CEO of Grange Insurance. On behalf of our agents and associates, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the 62nd Annual Grange Insurance Ohio North-South Classic. This is the longest-running game of its type in the United States and features the best players from around Ohio. I'd like to thank our hosts, the Columbus Crew, our partners, the Ohio High School Football Coaches Association, and our broadcast partners, the Ohio News Network, for making this terrific event possible. Also, congratulations to the 129 students from all across Ohio receiving college scholarships as a result of this game. Good luck to the players and coaches. Cheer loudly and have a great time. Enjoy the game.
And the players are being introduced here at Columbus Crew Stadium. And we want to thank Grange Insurance for sponsoring this and keeping this event in Columbus. We'll be back with some more of the events and kickoff coming up. It's the Grange Insurance Ohio North-South Classic right here live on ONN.
Dad's one hard-working dynamo. It's Father's Day, let him know. Dad, let your work and worries go. Let's go out back tonight.
Let go this Father's Day. Go out back, where fresh salmon is grilled moist and tender, and the steaks are thick and juicy. No worries, we're open early for Father's Day.
Let's go out back tonight.
This Father's Day, we're open at 11.
What a way to make your Father's Day.
I'm an independent marathon dealer, and I'm committed to taking care of my customers. That's why I feel so good about our improved gasolines. Now, all Marathon gasolines are fortified with STP additives that provide extra cleaning power and help maintain fuel economy. Marathon gasolines with STP additives, it's something I'm proud to offer my customers. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Abbott Diabetes Care congratulates Team Type 1 Racing to a Cure on their participation in the 2007 Race Across America. Please join us in cheering them on as they race through the state of Ohio. This elite team of endurance cyclists with Type 1 diabetes will be passing by Troy on Saturday, June 16th, and Athens on Sunday, June 17th. Don't miss your chance to follow all the action across the country as Team Type 1 races for a cure. Team Type 1, proudly monitored by Freestyle.
Welcome back to Columbus Crew Stadium, getting set for the kickoff of the 62nd Annual Ohio North-South Classic as they wrapped up the national anthem. They're putting the flag back away. It's time for us to check in on the field with the third person of our broadcast team, Dave Chudowski.
Well, guys, this game has been played all across the state of Ohio. Many cities have had the honor of hosting this game, but it's here at Crew Stadium where this game has been played since 2001. Since that time, the series is deadlocked 3-3 with the North winning the last two games. Now, as far as the temperature goes, we're looking at a low 80s, a very mild night, a little bit of a breeze and blue skies. Translation, guys, it is very hot. Ideal football weather, I'm not sure. I usually like a little bit cold, but we're going to have some fun tonight anyway.
All right, Dave, we're sweating up here in the booth, too.
Dave, it's a little bit different from the last time we were at a high school football game. Of course, back in December in Stark County, the great weekend of champions where we crowned our 6 high school football state champions. And we have a lot of representation from those games. 4 of the 6 state champion schools are represented here. We've got Bo Delandy from Hilliard-Davidson, the Division I state champ. A couple guys from the Piqua Indians who won our D2 state title, Phil Collier and Ben Davis. Tamawi McGee, the fine running back for Division III state champion Steubenville, 2-time Division III state champ Steubenville, and Andy Putoff from the Division V state champion St. Henry. So these are the guys who have tasted championships in their high school football careers.
Very interesting, too. The week of events, North and South went together, and that's why you see them getting together. Some special rules to take a look at in this game.
12-minute quarters in the contest, but the clock will be restarted following incomplete passes, player out of bounds, first downs. Not quite a running clock, but fairly close to it. And then we also have a 2-minute warning at the end of each quarter. And one other thing that this game will feature, it's something that's going to keep the game close. We can't guarantee a close game, but blowouts really don't happen in these all-star games.
Yeah, you get that 9-point difference, and you can decide to receive the football afterwards. But we touched on the sportsmanship angle of it, and they do everything together. They even dress in the same locker room for this. And the coaches and players said it's a great thing because it builds camaraderie with 68 guys instead of just 34.
Absolutely. They've been practicing over at Otterbein College in suburban Westerville throughout this week, and there have been so many great events. You see some of the buddies who were on the field during the introduction of the players. They have had a buddy program. They visited Columbus Children's Hospital. The guys had a great time out at Fort Rapids Water Park. All kinds of events all around this entire football game.
And we will talk about that more as the game goes on. As we mentioned, this is just a celebration for high school football in the state. And you know, the buddy program that you mentioned, it's special need kids are paired up one-to-one with a player. We were there Wednesday, and one of the buddies was actually crying because her player had to go back to practice. And it was kind of touching, and he felt bad. He wanted to stay around. So those are the kind of things that the ancillary programs kind of add, and the players seem to really respond to it as well. They kind of understand a lot of these guys are going on to play Division I football, and they understand they need to kind of give back some things.
It's an outstanding experience for everybody involved, an outstanding experience for the Central Ohio Special Olympians who are serving in the role of buddies for a lot of the players, and then also for these high school all-stars to get a chance to give back to the community, and that's something that's going to continue throughout their college football days. So this is the kind of event that they're going to have to get used to when it comes to bowl trips and all of the things that they're going to do once their college football careers commence.
And we're going to get ready and play some football now. A little bit of a coin toss going on, and you see it was really interesting because we had the opportunity to talk to some of the guys from the north when some guys from the south were there, and you could tell they're having a good time because they were giving each other a lot of grief and just having a lot of fun.
The South captains out there in the blue jerseys with the North in the white.
Everybody's got to shake everybody's hand because they kind of know each other now.
We'll have a coin toss. We'll have a kickoff eventually. Appears as though the North squad has won the toss.
And South gets to decide which goal they will defend. So the North wins and defers.
We will
get the ball the second half, though.
To see some of the high-powered offensive stars. South is kicking off.
North won and deferred. And they decided to kick off. Only in an all-star game.
A lot of excitement out on that field.
And both coaches really very adamant about the defenses and the front sevens particularly. They felt, both coaches felt the front sevens on each team were strong, and the offensive lines weren't quite as experienced.
Now, one thing you've really got to keep in mind tonight is these kids have not been playing football for more than 6 months. The season ended a long, long time ago, and they're just starting to get into football playing shape as they get ready for college camp. Bob Spate, head coach for the Columbiana Clippers up in Northeast Ohio, serving as the head coach of the North. He has really revitalized that football program up at Columbiana, a few consecutive playoff appearances for the Clippers.
Been there 14 years, and he was thrilled. He said, you know, for a Division V guy to be a head coach in this game, just a huge honor. And just you could see why he would be a kind of guy that would revitalize a program. I could really understand why a high school kid would want to go out and play for him. Just his whole philosophy is to get the ball in the air and play and let his players play some football.
A lot of talented assistant coaches on Coach Spate's staff as well, including Derek Kidwell of Fremont Ross, led the Little Giants to an undefeated regular season last year, and leading the South squad from Wapakoneta Kevin Fell, another playoff participant in the 2006 season.
Rocco Pintello is back deep along with Kendall Stinson to receive the ball for the South All-Stars. And teeing the ball up for the North, Brandon Walker. And he's from Findlay, headed to Notre Dame University, so he can kick the ball pretty well.
Been some talented kickers come out of Findlay High School, including Josh Houston, the former Buckeye.
So Walker will tee it up, and we will get the 62nd annual Ohio North-South Classic presented by Grange Insurance underway. Pintello lets it hit at the 10, and Stinson runs up and grabs it. 20 and knocked out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. And there you see the South starters. Chris Smith will be the quarterback. Tamawi McGee, Bo DeLandy, pretty good running backs from state champs there. Chris Gibbons from Chillicothe, and Mascara, the wide receivers. B.J. Reed is the tight end. The line, Steve Bray, the center. Ben Davis from Piqua. Barrett Brooks, Corey Monroe, and Wes Schroeder are the tackles.
A lot of offensive firepower in the blue jerseys of the South squad.
And Smith wants to throw, going deep. Gibbons has it at the 50. He's at the 40, down inside the 40 or 35-yard line at the 31. Chris Gibbons on the slant pattern, and I got to tell you, Bob Spate was concerned about Gibbons because he said he was a playmaker, and you see it right away.
Outstanding delivery by the quarterback, Chris Smith, out of South Point. And Mr. Smith is going to play his college football at Marshall. The pass catching Gibbons in stride for the big game.
45 yards on the play. The ball spotted just short of the North's 30-yard line. So just like that, the South moving the football out of the shotgun this time. McGee is the back next to Smith, and Tamawi McGee gets the handoff, and he'll break a tackle and then get pushed back.
Tamawi McGee was the real workhorse in the backfield for the Steubenville Big Red squad, two-time state champs, winners of 30 games in a row. But he also had a lot of talent with them, with a fine quarterback named Zach Calaros, who led the Big Red to those back-to-back state titles.
Let's take a look at the North defense. The front seven very tough. Eric Thomas and LeBron Daniel, Big Ten recruits, Powell and Fakaris. The linebackers, J. Rome Williams, Jamel Hines headed to Ohio State, and the DBs, Nate Oliver will hit you in the backfield. David Arnold, also a Big Ten recruit, he's headed to Northwestern. Smith feels the pressure, rolling out. Hines comes, can't get him, thrown, and it's intercepted. A nice defensive play. I believe it's Nate Oliver that stepped in front and got the interception. Still haven't gotten a good look at it. No, David Arnold.
David
picks
Arnold
it
with the pick. David Arnold, a fine player out of Copley. He is one of the many Big Ten recruits playing in this game. Arnold heading to Northwestern, and you could see that Smith gets flushed out of the pocket, maybe tried to force something. He saw his man downfield, but stepping in front of Trey Massarelli for the pick was David Arnold.
Ball will be spotted at the 3-yard line of the North. So
Massarelli was open for a moment there. Smith could have gotten rid of the ball a little bit sooner. Good closing speed by David Arnold to make the pick.
Ryan Otney from Fremont Ross, the quarterback, sets up in his own end zone. Steps up, throws, intercepted.
Going
Picked
right back the other way.
Tyler Raploger, and he gets it and returns it for the touchdown. And Tyler Raploger with the touchdown and the big play defensively.
South gets on the board first, courtesy of a member of the Centerville Elks.
Nice job, just stayed back in his zone and came up with the interception. 12-yard return for the touchdown. There you see it.
Raplogle, a good linebacker who is headed to Indiana.
Yep.
With the pick, just kind of sitting right back, as a good linebacker will do. Can you recall another linebacker who wore the Centerville Elks helmet? Where'd number 47, Mr. A.J. Hawk?
There's been a number of them.
Don't know if Tyler's going to have quite the college career that A.J. Hawk did, but a nice touchdown interception return as the extra point is tacked on, and it is the South getting on the board first here at Columbus Crew Stadium.
Yeah, Raplogle, just a nice job of coming up with the big play. So back-to-back interceptions, but the South cashes in and gets the touchdown to give them a 7-0 lead. And, this week we had touched on it a little bit, and just a great week as far as all the different events. They came in on Sunday, last Sunday, spent an entire week together, long practices. They went to Children's Hospital, visited some sick kids. They did the buddy program, and You know, this is it, though. They got up at 7 o'clock and started practicing football, and they practiced football most of the morning.
Oh, and you've been off, but you've had the pads off for about 6 months. You got to do something to start to get back into football shape. There's the visit to Columbus Children's Hospital. Just a great opportunity for all of these kids, and you can see the emotion of the kids that they were able to see. Some fun skills competitions, which made the entire week just seem to fly by for these kids.
And Buddy Day Wednesday, and that was over at Otterbein. That's when they actually got to play some fun things, played some basketball, threw a football around, played some Frisbee, and you looked at the way those players interacted with the kids, and that's a good sign. Good people as well as good football players. And getting set to tee the ball up and kick it away, Aaron Bates for the South, as he converted the point after to make it a 7-0 South lead.
Well, we've played less than 2 minutes. We already have 2 turnovers and 1 touchdown. We'll see if the North can have a little bit more success on offense this time around.
And the ball will be returned to about the 26-yard line as Morgan Williams returns it, the Kent McKinley star who's headed to Toledo.
And we are going to see a lot of Morgan Williams tonight. A very exciting football player. Set the Stark County all-time career rushing record last season in leading the Kent McKinley Bulldogs to a regional championship. They did fall to Menor, eventual state runner-up in the state semifinals.
Ball spotted just across the 25-yard line, and you've got to check out the program to see where all these guys are going and all the good folks that have played in this football game.
Charles Babb at a quarterback now, the Alliance Aviator stepping in.
Bad snap. All the way back to the 9, picks it up, and there's a lot of defenders. And it's thrown down as the entire front 4 got penetration that time.
Little bit of a rough start for the North offense. First play, an interception return for a touchdown. Second play, a bad snap and a quarterback sack. It's going to go for about a 22-yard loss. Not much Charles Babb could do there except grab the football, don't turn it over.
Calvin Dixon gets the sack, and it's actually, they'll say it's a loss of 24, all the way back to the 2-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and 34.
One of the things we'll see in this game, frequent substitutions. Saw Ryan Otney get the start for the North squad at quarterback. Charles Babb relieving him in the second series, and he has Morgan Williams in the backfield with him as he goes out of the shotgun.
Morgan gets the handoff, and it's Dixon again. Dixon 5'10", 215, the nose tackle for Colerain, and undecided on where he's going to play, but he is a heck of a player. He's a little small, and you keep saying he's small, he's small, he's small. At the end of the day, he's got a couple sacks, a couple tackles for loss, 7-8 tackles.
And Cincinnati Colerain just turns out big-time athletes, a program that has had so much success under head coach Kerry Combs. Of course, new leadership for the Cardinals this year. Kerry Combs moving on to become an assistant coach at the University of Cincinnati under new head football coach Brian Kelly. So we'll see how the Cardinals will respond without their fiery leader at the helm.
Shotgun formation again. This time, Babb's going to keep it hit, and he's going to be thrown for a safety. I believe it's Solomon Thomas making the play.
That was Alex Kaufman, I believe.
Alex Kaufman, you're right.
Alex Kaufman, a fine player out of Lakota West, just busting through the line and making the play. Alex Kaufman was a high school teammate of Solomon Thomas for the Lakota West squad, and a big-time play there for the future Miami Redhawk, 6'2", 225 pounds out of Westchester.
The Butler County Co-Defensive Player of the Year. 20 tackles for a loss, 15 sacks, so this is not a surprise. They tried to run a little ISO, and he came in from his linebacker spot, gets the safety, so it's quickly 9-0 South.
Quarterback draw, and Alex Kaufman was there to snuff it out. And to tell you what a good player Alex Kaufman is, being named the Butler County Defensive Player of the Year when on the same defense as Solomon Thomas, an Ohio State recruit, somebody that everybody in the country would love to have on their roster this fall. Alex Kaufman at 6'2", 225 is an instinctive player who is going to really be a huge benefit to the squad at Miami.
Well, things couldn't have gone much worse to start out for the North All-Stars. You turn the ball over, and then you get a safety. Let's head down on the field to Dave Chudowski. Dave?
Hi, guys. I'm with Steve Chanel. He's the president of the Ohio High School Football Coaches Association. And to say that this game has a lot of history is an understatement, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all the names and people who've been in this game over the years, 62 years of All-Star game for the North-South. And all the NFL people, Super Bowl alumni, longest running game, all-star game in the country. There's too much history for me to think about right now off the top of my head, but it's long and rich, and we're very proud of it.
Obviously, Ohio is one of the best states in the entire country for high school football. That being said, what makes this game keep going?
It's just to the interest of the football in the state of Ohio. I mean, Ohio loves football. I mean, all the way back to the rich tradition of Paul Brown, all the way back to the Cleveland Browns, the Bengals, Ohio State Buckeyes. Every college coach that comes through my school has got roots in Ohio somehow. So it's just embedded into us, and we just love it, and we're proud of these kids and the buddy system and everything, and all the people who work on this game. It's just a great pleasure to be here.
Just keeps getting better and better every year. Steve, thank you very much. Guys, back to you.
Okay, thanks very much, Dave. As Skylar Jones checks in at quarterback, and Sam Ficaris grabs him and throws him down for basically a loss of a yard. Good field position for the South, as after that free kick, it went out of bounds at the 47-yard line of the North.
Outstanding play on the defensive line from the 6'3", 280-pound defensive tackle, Sam Ficaris, out of Mayfield High School. Stepped right up and plugged that gap, and there was nowhere for Skylar Jones to run.
Spread look, 4 wide receivers set. Jordan Jarrell is the back next to Skylar Jones. Quick hitter, they get it to Massara. Massara knocked out of bounds by Nate Oliver after a short pickup.
And the gentleman who just made that catch, Trey Massarelli, has a lot of experience catching passes. He is part of the Bel Air Big Reds, and for the past 2 years, Trey Massarelli has caught passes from a couple of pretty good quarterbacks. First, it was Nate Davis, who went on to star at Ball State as a freshman, and then last year, Nick Rocchio, a Bel Air squad that nearly made it to the state finals, lost in the state semis to eventual Division IV state champ, Youngstown Cardinal Mooney. We'll see a lot of Trey Massarelli tonight.
4 wide receiver set, strong side the other side of the formation this time. Jarrell is the back, next to Skylar Jones. Rolling out, looking, caught by Givens, first down. Nice grab by Chris Givens.
Chris Givens is going to be a very special player. Givens has a lot of talent. He's going to Miami, 6'2", 190 pounds out of Chillicothe. He also played DB at Chillicothe, had 4 interceptions, but over 1,100 yards receiving and 11 touchdown grabs last year for Givens. And he's going to a good place in Miami because he's got a lot of family there. His sister graduated from the Oxford campus, and his brother's a senior in the School of Business.
And I think he can help the Red Hawks based on what we've seen all Ohio in Division II, and we see he can get open. 1st and 10, ball spotted at the 33-yard line. Bo DeLandy breaks the tackle and is brought down by LeBron Daniel, but gets inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line. Nice run by DeLandy.
One thing we know about Bo DeLandy is he is a workhorse. He had one of the games for all time in the Division I state finals last year. Hilliard Davidson's thrilling overtime win over Menor. 47 carries, 236 yards, 5 touchdown runs, and the game-winning 2-point conversion. Number 11 is never afraid to carry the football.
And he seems to get stronger as the game goes on, and you give him the ball more often.
That Division I state championship game last year was one of the best high school football games I've ever seen, and one of the best probably in Ohio history.
Jarrell trying to cut back is brought down. Nice open field tackle by Maurice Jones from Ursuline High School.
One of the fun things, but what could be one of the frustrating things for us up here in the booth, the fun whenever you're in an all-star game of putting all of the other logos on your helmets, makes it a little difficult to figure out exactly who these guys are sometimes.
Well, I got faked out with Kaufman and Wilcott anyway. And Solomon Thomas in that sack.
3rd and 3 now for the South.
Jones up under center, I formation. Jarrell is the deep back, he gets it. Trying to string it out, not gonna happen.
Nice cut to avoid the initial tackler, but then coming up was David Rock, the linebacker from North Lima South Range, stringing Jarrell out and making the drop for the 2-yard loss.
And right here is Rock. He gets a hold of him, and a nice job, and Oliver comes and helps him finish it off. A loss of a couple, so it'll bring up a 4th down.
Talk about a long 5. No reason to punt in this situation, you think?
Nah.
Not when you're inside the 30-yard line. Give it a go.
You've got some playmakers, that's for sure.
4.5 minutes left in our first quarter with the South owning that 9-0 lead. A Tyler Raplogle intercept to return for a touchdown, and then a safety by Alex Kaufman.
Tamawi McGee back into the backfield. Shotgun formation for Skylar Jones. throwing back against the grain. Givens has it. Nice move on the sidelines, up the sideline. He's inside the 20, 10, touchdown Givens. What a play.
Chris Givens showing some of the electric moves that he will put on display down at Miami University. He has been the playmaker of the first quarter for the South squad. He caught the big pass from Chris Smith on the very first play of the game, and a great move along the sidelines to convert a 4th and 6 play into a touchdown.
Just a little juke move there, and it's enough to throw the defender off, and he's got some quickness and some speed. 15-0. Bates will be on to try to add the point after.
Now, we talked earlier about the opportunity for teams to catch up in this football game. So when the North is down by 9 points or more, down by 15 now, and after they score, they have the opportunity to elect to receive the football again. Problem is, North has to find a way to score in order to get the ball back so that they can start to catch up in the contest.
They're awaiting another player.
One thing that you could definitely say for the first...
They have a penalty, so it'll be half the distance to the goal line. They're still going to kick it. It's declined.
What I was getting ready to say, Dave, one of the things you can definitely see in the first 8 minutes of this contest, the defensive line is dominating the offensive line, and that's really on both sides of the football right now.
And that's really what both coaches expected as well. So Bates now will try to make it a 16-0 South lead. And he does. So our score, the South 16, the North nothing. It's the Grange Insurance North-South Classic on ONN.
Days you can buy more things in more places than ever before. You'd think that would make things simpler. I'd like a venti quad cappuccino, but it just makes it more complicated. That's why at Grange, we still sell our auto insurance through independent agents. It's a far smoother process than buying from a stranger over some 1-800 line. It's good to know what you're buying and who you're buying it from.
In Central Ohio, call the Dressel and Evans Agency at 614-488-9723 or check out www.dresselevans.com.
Wellington Orthopedic and Sports Medicine congratulates these athletes on their selection to the South All-Star team. Steve Bray of Cincinnati Turpin, Calvin Dixon of Colerain, Wes Schroeder of Cincinnati St. Xavier, and Kendrick Bruton and Alex Kaufman attending Miami University in the fall.
Did you know that in our world, 29,000 kids die each day
from preventable causes?
What if we decided not to accept this anymore? UNICEF works in over 150 countries, saving kids' lives. Visit unicefusa.org.
We are back at Crew Stadium. Dave Chudowski, Chris Givens just getting into the end zone. You wondering where he's going? Well, he's heading to a MAC school, the MAC Attack, and the MAC getting a lot of big names out of this game. Givens, of course, going to Miami. He's one of 4 guys heading there. You got 3 going to Ohio, 1 to Kent State. 4 players heading to my alma mater, the University of Toledo, including Morgan Williams, and Ball State has a good one in put-off. But I'll tell you what, Givens, from what he's showing me tonight, I think there's some Big Ten schools that might be a little upset they didn't take him, guys.
Dave, a lot of talent coming into the Miami University Redhawks. Not only Chris Givens, but also Alex Kaufman, who had that big play for the safety for the South squad. Chris Givens already 3 catches, 85 yards, and a touchdown. He has been a big part of the South's quick start here at Columbus Crew Stadium.
Yeah, 7 plays, 46 yards on the drive, 29-yard touchdown to Givens. 4:04 is what it took off of the clock, and now Bates will kick it away. And it's going to be Morgan Williams from the 1. Nice cut, but he's knocked down just across the 20-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 from just across the 20 for the North.
And every time number 30 gets the ball in his hands, you've got to be on the lookout for him to pop a big play. A couple of games in the playoffs last year, Morgan Williams scored 5 touchdowns, including a thrilling victory over Toledo Whitmer. He can run kicks back for scores. He can break off big runs. Morgan Williams is a truly dynamic back and has the opportunity to really be a star for the Toledo Rockets.
Yeah, Toledo is getting one heck of a running back. He was being recruited by a couple of Big Ten schools and ended up going to Toledo. First team All-Ohio, Federal League MVP, and that's a heck of a football league. If you're the MVP of the Federal League, you can play the game. Otney is brought down right around the line of scrimmage. Actually, they're going to mark it to 19, so it'll be a loss of 1, a sack by Hatcher.
I think you got to give Charlie Hatcher a sack on that one. The defensive lineman out of Hamilton making a big play. Once again, the defensive line continuing to dominate on both teams. getting in and making plays against that offensive line.
There you see the scoring drive.
7 plays, 46 yards. Chris Gibbons on the receiving end of a 29-yard touchdown pass on a 4th and 6 play. A simple little out pattern to throw from Skylar Jones, and Gibbons did the rest.
Shotgun formation. They give it to Morgan Williams. And he's tough running as Charlie Hatcher comes in and gets a lick on it.
Josh Copeland also in there, the defensive back out of Fairborn, making the play.
And we mentioned Charlie Hatcher, who kind of strings this out there and gets in on the play on the tackle along with Copeland. He's headed to Duke. So he can get it done in the classroom a little bit, too.
Nice play there by Copeland. Nice tackling form, hitting him low. A first-team All-Mid-Miami League for the Fairborn Skyhawks. He'll be playing his college football also in the MAC. He's going to Buffalo.
3rd down and 15 now for the North from the 16-yard line. Shotgun formation. Play action. Otney gets it. It's complete. And a nice job as he gets brought down just short of the first down.
It was Alan Vanderink with the catch out of Crestwood High School. Vanderink making a few nice little moves, but couldn't quite get to the first down marker. Some positive yardage for the North squad, and it's the North's best offensive play of the day so far.
They'll still be about 5 yards short. Call it 4th and 4. There's Vanderlink, the nice play, and that'll bring on the punter, Brandon Walker. Jordan Jarrell and Rocco Pintello are back deep for the South. Oh, and it's almost caught. Good penetration. Walker gets it off. Pintello grabs it at the 31. And he is brought down fairly quickly.
They did drop a flag. We may get a running into the kicker. Andy Putoff of the South came flying in and nearly got that punt. There is a flag down on the other end of the field.
David Arnold's in coverage. Let's see what the official decides here. Holding. Holding against the
I
North.
think we'll see that penalty decline to get the South offense back on the field.
Trying to get a decision. They may make him kick. It was a 42-yard kick. So it wasn't a bad, pretty good kick by Walker, all things considered.
Oh, the hold was called on the South squad.
Okay.
The initial indication was he pointed
to the north.
To the north. So that holding penalty should be an automatic first down. And head coach Bob Spade out of Columbiana, excited about the opportunity to get his offense back on the field.
And you see him talking to Charles Babb from Alliance High School. And it will be a first down.
So the first down of the game for the North offense. And after running the first series of that drive, Ryan Otney departs and Charles Babb comes onto the field. Charles Babb wearing number 9, as we said, from Alliance High School up in Northeast Ohio, threw a school record 30 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions his senior year. And he broke the records of a pretty fair player, a gentleman who was enshrined just up the road from Alliance in Canton, Pro Football Hall of Famer Len Dawson. That is some impressive company for young Mr. Babb.
Play action, pitch, bad pitch.
And that is Andy Putoff with the recovery. The quarterback option and the pitch was just a little bit high, and Putoff, a guy who can run the ball and who is also a fierce linebacker, dives in and nearly blocked the punt. This time he gets the turnover. Second turnover of the game for the South D.
Read the play the whole way, too. Was trying to defend the ball that was going to be pitched to, and just made a play on the ball, comes up with the recovery. 1:13 to go in the first quarter. South has it inside the 30 at the 27-yard line of the North again.
The pitch just a little bit behind Michael Bush. He couldn't handle it. It's another turnover for the North.
Smith back in at quarterback, going up top for Gibbons. Gibbons has his man beat. Nice catch, touchdown. It was underthrown, but Chris Gibbons makes the adjustment. Comes up with the 27-yard touchdown catch.
It is clear who the superstar of the first quarter is. Chris Gibbons with the stupendous adjustment midair, and the 6'2 player out of Chillicothe with his second touchdown grab of the day. He might match those season numbers tonight.
And we had heard from him in the open. He was all excited. He said he was all Ohio. Playing in this game was an honor. One of his relatives had played in it and told him what a special thing it was. And he's going to remember this because of the way he's putting on a show.
Chris Smith looking his way all the way, and he just kind of lofted it up there and let Gibbons make the adjustment, react to the football first, and it's another touchdown for the South squad.
Just want to holler at Chillicothe, baby. Represent Chillicothe.
And Bates puts the point after through the uprights, 23-0. And Chris Gibbons is representing Chillicothe very nicely.
Showing some hometown pride for number 7.
Let's take a listen. David Rock is one of the players from a smaller school who is getting to play on the same field with Division I players and some players that are going into the Big Ten. This is what he had to say about that.
Ohio Dominican University, Rogers Athletics, Grinnell, Outback Steakhouse.
Fastest player, and a lot of times the biggest and the fastest player on the field. And then now, I mean, you're not close to the fastest, and you're not nowhere near the biggest. And just talent-wise, it's just so overwhelming because this talent's just everywhere.
David Rock and the North Lima South Range Raiders have had a lot of success in the past few years in the Inter Tri-County League up in Northeast Ohio, but it's a league that doesn't get a whole lot of publicity, and it's not in a major market, and you don't see those guys on TV a whole lot. They have some success, and for David Rock to be out here playing at Columbus Crew Stadium in the Grange Insurance North-South Classic is truly a moment he will never forget.
And we saw him make a couple nice plays on defense.
Absolutely.
Bates will kick it off, and the South has not done much wrong in this first quarter. 23-0 they lead. Now remember,
the defense has been stingy, and the offense is making big plays, specifically Chris Gibbons.
And remember, if the North does score, they will have the option of receiving the football and getting back into this in a hurry. Williams can run it out of the end zone in this game, and he does. Nice move, breaks a tackle, and then is spun down out to the 26-yard line. Let's head down on the field to Dave Chudowski. Dave?
Guys, obviously the South dominating this one 23-0, and when you look at a game like this, you look for any edges. Obviously, they're all all-stars. One thing I noticed, the South has been in the shade the entire game, while the North has had the sun beating down on them, and when I tell you it's hot down here, that's an understatement. I'm not saying that's why it's 23-0, but it might add a little bit to why the South is ahead, besides the obvious factors on the football field.
Keep on digging, Dave. Anything to make the North look a little bit better, because right now Bob Spate's squad is struggling.
Shotgun formation. Incomplete is Otney. A little too strong.
We had an opportunity to tell you a little bit about the North Southern quarterback, Charles Babb. Ryan Otney, a 6'3", 190-pounder out of Fremont Ross, led the Little Giants on a 10-0 regular season last year before falling in the first round of the playoffs to Toledo Whitmer. District Player of the Year, first team All-Ohio. He's going to be playing his college football at Urbana. A fine, fine player is Ryan Otney. He was the Player of the Year in the Greater Buckeye Conference in 2006.
And his coach, Derek Kidwell, a pretty good quarterback in his high school days at Fostoria.
A former Mr. Football.
Yeah. Intercepted again. Greg Jones from Moeller this time. Takes it in for the touchdown. I take that back.
Number 3 for the North. And the South squad is dominating.
It is Greg Jones. A number change.
Greg Jones with a fine read, just like Tyler Replogle earlier in the game for his interception return for a touchdown. Jones takes this one in for the score.
And Greg Jones headed to Michigan State. You see some of the athleticism there. Just a nice job by Greg Jones.
23 tackles for loss, 11.5 sacks last year for Bob Crable's Cincinnati Moeller Crusaders. And the South about to take a 30-0 first quarter lead as the extra point splits the uprights. What a defensive performance by the South squad. Kevin Bell had these guys ready to go.
And Greg Jones couldn't wait to get playing in this game, and he comes up with a big play in the first quarter. And big plays have been going along that South sidelines all quarter long.
Yeah, we've really talked about the job that Chris Gibbons has done, and he's made some special plays, but you can just rattle off a variety of different names on the South defense. Tyler Replogle, the interception for a touchdown. Greg Jones, an interception return for a touchdown. Alex Kaufman with the safety, and then that nice fumble recovery as well by Andy Putoff earlier. 53 tackles, 11.5 sacks for Greg Jones, 5 sacks in a game. Michigan State is going to like having him up there.
And he's a linebacker, and his coach, Bob Crable, was a pretty good linebacker for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And actually got a chance to talk to Greg about it. And he said, yeah, he's helped a ton, not just with the technique and what you do to be a good linebacker, but it's helped him off the field as well. But boy, the South team here has come out and just dominated.
5.5 seconds left in the first quarter, and I think that Bob Spate, the entire North coaching staff, cannot wait for quarter number 1 to end, maybe regroup a little bit and try to find a way to get something going offensively. Only 1 first down for the North in the entire first quarter, and that one came by a penalty. The North offense hasn't been able to generate anything against this stellar South D.
Minus 30 yards of total offense for the North in the first quarter. Boy, this time Bates really knocks it 8 yards deep in the end
Morgan
zone.
Williams wants to make
out.
something happen. That is the only reason to return a kick from 8 yards deep in the end zone. Either that or let's just get this first quarter over.
And it is the end of the first quarter. Ball comes out to the 17-yard line. At the end of the first quarter, 30-0 our score as the South All-Stars have been impressive. It's the Grange Insurance Ohio North-South Classic, only on O&N.
Ab Diabetes Care congratulates Team Type 1 Racing to a Cure on their participation in the 2007 Race Across America. Please join us in cheering them on as they race through the state of Ohio. This elite team of endurance cyclists with Type 1 diabetes will be passing by Troy on Saturday, June 16th and Athens on Sunday, June 17th. Don't miss your chance to follow all the action across the country as Team Type 1 races for a cure. Team Type 1, proudly monitored by Freestyle.
Today's discovery on Pediatric Health Source.
John, a high school pole vaulter, turned to Columbus Children's Hospital after an injury left him with a stress fracture in his back. Sports injuries in children and teens now account for at least 40% of all emergency visits. And for young athletes who are still growing, the consequences can be serious.
Kids aren't small adults. Some of their injuries are unique, having lifelong consequences if not treated properly. That's why we focus on active kids so their parents know they'll have the best sports medicine care.
Children's New Sports Medicine Center in Westerville is the first facility of its kind in Ohio dedicated to specialized treatment and prevention of adolescent injuries. Here, John has access to the latest sports medicine technology, including high-tech virtual drills and video imaging exercises, helping improve his performance and prevent future injuries.
Pediatric Health Source is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, on your side, and by McDonald's Restaurants, partners in your community.
Take a look at Chris Givens. He has really put on a show. A couple of touchdown catches, over 100 yards receiving. Chris Givens has given the South a 30-0 lead as we head into the second quarter of action. And there you see a great touchdown grab. And Chris Givens has every reason to smile and be proud.
Representing Chillicothe High School and soon to be representing Miami University when he joins the squad as a freshman this fall.
Morgan Williams gets the carry, and he gets out near the 19-yard line, pickup of a couple yards. And we are pleased to be joined in the booth by John Rayfield, the game chairman and Coach Association. John, tell me a little bit about what goes into planning this from your end.
Well, it usually starts right after the regular season high school football in November, and we start putting things together and start planning out the week-long activities and where we're going to house the kids and feed them and that type of stuff. So we're usually meeting once a week through December, all the way up through January.
And John, we've talked so much in the first quarter and before the game, a face mask penalty being called on the South there on that run. But this is more than just a football game. It's an entire week-long event that is special to these players for more than just the fact that, hey, I'm a high school all-star.
It's absolutely. We try to give them a week-long experience and really show Columbus and roll out the welcome mat and let them see just a whole host of things while they're here.
First down on the run in the face mask for the North squad, so they get the ball out at the 41-yard line. What is the thought behind going into the selection of these guys and what you want them to take away from the week?
Well, going into the selection, that's the coaches do that, and that obviously is done, by their activities on the field and off the field, academically. And then once we get them here, like I said, we work them twice a day in football practice. But I mean, we try to show them a lot of other things, like our experience at Children's Hospital is the big thing.
And this isn't only just a great experience for the players, but also for the coaches. I know that Bob Spate from Columbiana, a Division V school, talked about, this is great for me, a Division V coach getting an opportunity to coach some of these guys who are going to be playing at Ohio State and Big Ten schools. It's a special experience for the coaching staffs as well.
And you're absolutely right. I think we do by design. We don't segregate the kids during the week. I mean, the North and South, we outside of riding in the buses so that we can keep track of them. They eat together, they dorm together, and it's a networking opportunity for both them and the coaches to meet people that they've never met before and make friends that they're going to hold for the rest of their lives.
Seen a couple fine tackles on this offensive series by Kendall Stinson, number 20 from Newark. Made the play there on Morgan Williams, stuffing him for a loss.
3rd and 13. John, what about the smaller Division 5 and 6 players that get to play with the guys that they see are going to the Big Ten? And it's got to be a special moment for them as well, especially for them.
Yeah, it's a special moment for them. But let me tell you, when they get picked to play in this game, they're ball players.
Oh,
and it doesn't matter where they go to school. They're ball players. And the guys from the big schools, they get hit just as hard from the guys from the little schools. And there is a very healthy respect at the end of the week. No matter whether you're in Division I or Division 6.
Greg Jones is one of the guys from the big schools, Cincinnati Moeller, and he just laid a lick on Charles Babb. Nowhere for Babb to run as he was being chased down by Solomon Thomas. And then Jones, who had that interception return for a touchdown late in the first quarter, gets the sack.
And we had a chance to talk to the coaches. They said some of the friendships made here will stay in place for life.
And I think that's not only true for the players, I think that's true for the coaches. I've had a lot of the coaches tell me over the last several years that they met guys that they never would have met for a lot of reasons, and now they're friends. And these guys will talk to each other or text each other, as the kids are doing now, for the rest of their lives.
And they also want to keep track of the players that are going on to play at the different colleges that they've coached.
And that's very true. And we're finding out in the last couple of years that the players now are keeping in contact with their buddies that you saw on the field earlier. And I mean, these guys are staying in contact with them over the years, and I think that's a pretty special part of the takeaway from this ball game.
And the other thing is the opportunity for all of these guys to put their names next to so many famous names. 62nd year of the Ohio North-South Classic. It's been held at a variety of great locations all around the state, Massillon, Akron, now here in Columbus. And to put your name next to guys like Roger Staubach and Archie Griffin, man, what a special evening and a special event for all of these kids.
Well, it is, and that's part of the thing that we try to make them understand. And they've taken into consideration that there's been an alumni of this game playing almost every Super Bowl ever played. And I think the largest, we had 7 alumni in one Super Bowl. I mean, the kids have got something to aspire to, and when they know those stats, it just makes them work a little bit harder, and you can see it in their eyes.
The rich tradition of Ohio high school football, there's none better anywhere in the country.
You're absolutely right.
Skylar Jones mishandled the pitch there, so it'll be a 2nd down and 16 now for the South. Shotgun formation, Jordan Jarrell in the backfield with Bo DeLandy. Got some running backs in the game for the South. This time Jones up under center, and we get a whistle and a penalty. What about the Coaches Association? A lot goes into this, and you get scholarships that aren't necessarily for athletes that come out of the proceeds of this game. Tell me a little bit about that, how this game gives scholarships to some of the
well, that's what this game is all about. I mean, primarily it's to raise money for our scholarship, or for the Coaches Scholarship Fund, and secondarily it's a football game. Now, it kind of seems turned around, but it's not. But that we allow scholarships to be held to people that aren't not necessarily athletes, but that are good high school kids, not necessarily scholars, that need help going to college. And it's been a pretty remarkable thing, and the coaches have been able to raise and contribute hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last 7 years to help kids go to college.
First time we've had an opportunity to call out the name of Jermail Hines, who will be going to college at Ohio State next year, the linebacker out of Cleveland Glenville, with the stuff on Jordan Jarrell.
Jarrell spun free, but couldn't find upfield as great pursuit kept coming after him.
Jermail Hines, one of the top linebacker prospects in the country, out of that Ted Ginn football factory at Cleveland Glenville. One of 3 Glenville Tar Blooders in tonight's game for the North squad.
All the way back to the 7 So it'll be 3rd and 29 now for the South All-Stars. Shotgun formation for Skylar Jones. Keeps it, and he is brought down. Nice job knifing in from the end to make the play.
So the North defense coming up big, making some big defensive plays, a couple of bad penalties hurting the South as they move backwards, and will be forced to punt with about 6.5 minutes left in the second quarter of this game. And we have been joined for a while here by game chairman John Rayfield, and we also have another guest who's standing by down on the field with Dave Chudowski.
Thanks, guys. I'm with Steve Trevisano, and he is the scholarship coordinator of the Ohio High School Football Coaches Association. And just talk about, Steve, what a chance this gives athletes or just players to have these scholarships.
Well, you know, we've done a great job in our Coaches Association over the past 5 or so years trying to get as many scholarships out to kids as we can throughout the whole state. This past year, we gave out 11 $1,000 scholarships and 118 $500 scholarships to kids throughout the state of Ohio who, you know, have been active in high school and did well in school. So we're real pleased that we gave over $70,000 of scholarships this year and almost $900,000 in all of our years of operation.
Of course, you might recognize Steve, the head coach of Mentor, and what a run you guys had. And you played in one of the greatest high school football playoff games in the history of Ohio. Obviously, you guys came up on the short end of a tough loss. Has the sting gone away?
Well, it would have been a better game had we won it, but you know, it was a great opportunity for our kids to get to play in the state championship in our school and our community to do that. That was real neat experience for all of us involved. And I don't know if the sting will ever leave, but you know, you had a great season, and you know, there's a lot of other people who didn't come anywhere that far. So we're real proud of our kids in our school.
Absolutely. What a great effort by your kids, and guys, good effort by you as we head back to the booth.
Talking about effort, how about the effort of the South defense? Another turnover. This interception turned in by Josh Copeland of Fairborn.
A nice job. The North finally had good field position in the South end of the field, and then Copeland comes up with the interception and the turnover, and the South gets the football right back. Otney rolling out.
The North offense is really struggling. Otney had his man open. He was trying to get the ball to number 35 down the field. That was Alan Vanderink, but he underthrew him a little bit. Copeland steps in front, makes the pick. That is the 4th turnover of the game for the North offense. 3 of them interceptions. 2 of those 3 interceptions returned for touchdowns.
And Tyler Rapogel, one of the reasons why he underthrew that, he got popped just as he was throwing that football by Rapogel. 4 wide receiver set, shotgun formation.
Chris Smith back in at quarterback.
Gets it to Givens again. Nice move, and this time he steps out of bounds. I tell you what, Givens, tough to bring down, too. You saw he just kind of threw a defender away and was not even bothered by it.
You know, there's really some talented wide receivers on this South squad. We talked earlier about Trey Massarelli from Bel Air, also Brandon Ramsey from Middletown, you know, a high school teammate of one of the quarterbacks on the South squad in Skylar Jones, but both Jones and Chris Smith really seem to like hooking up with Chris Givens.
He must be open because it doesn't matter who's throwing the football.
It's getting to number 7.
McGee right up the middle, and he gets out near the 35-yard line. Tamawi McGee.
Slipped a little bit, only about a 2-yard gain there for Tamawi McGee of the Steubenville Big Red. Tamawi McGee, not a guy who's used to losing football games. The last 2 years, Steubenville has gone a perfect 15-0 in winning the Division III state championship. The job that Coach Reno has done down there in Steubenville for so many years, but then especially the last 2 coming away with state titles. There is no place in this state of Ohio that loves its football more than Steubenville. A lot that might love it as much, but no place that loves it more.
Smith out of the shotgun pressure, breaks free, and not that time. Danny Dario and LeBron Daniel waiting for him. And a nice job of bringing him down.
Big hit laid on there by the linebacker Dario from Akron-Hovind High School. A fine player who's going to play his college football at Fairmont State. Nowhere for Chris Smith to go, and he took a lick.
3rd down and 12.
South has been able to convert a couple. 4th and 6 play that went for a touchdown. Now a 3rd and long.
Out of the shotgun again, 4 wide receivers. Going to Givens. And this time he's closed on by Will Sheeler and knocked out of bounds quickly. It'll bring up 4th and long.
Sheeler was not going to allow Givens to make any kind of move to get away and break down the sidelines. Delivered a good hit and forced him out of bounds immediately. back onto the field to punt once again for the South. Aaron Bates from New Concord, John Glenn High School. He's headed to Michigan State. He did hit a good punt from deep in his own end zone on the last possession. Got it out to the 40-yard line, but the North was unable to capitalize as Otney threw the interception immediately followed.
Michael Bush and Nate Oliver are back deep to receive for the North All-Stars. High kick, a nice kick. Good coverage. And it will be down at the 37 yard. 33-yard kick, no return. 30-0. The South leads in the Grange Insurance North-South Classic on ONN.
I'm an independent marathon dealer, and I'm committed to taking care of my customers. That's why I feel so good about our improved gasolines. Now, all marathon gasolines are fortified with STP additives that provide extra cleaning power and help maintain fuel economy. Marathon gasolines with STP additives, it's something I'm proud to offer my customers. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
We're playing San Diego. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, and puked in between. And that's when I knew it.
I felt like I was playing with little kids and I was a grown man, like Superman.
I ran the fastest 40 at the camp, and I was still 15 years old. So that's when I knew I was gonna be pretty good. Oh yeah.
And the defense has dominated for the South. Greg Jones, the interception. Greg Jones, the big hit. And Greg Jones knows they've been playing well, the North. Minus 42 yards rushing, 1 of 6 passing for 12 yards.
4 North turnovers that have led to direct points, and Greg Jones out of Cincinnati Moeller, a fine linebacker who will be showing his skills on the Big Ten stage up in East Lansing at Michigan State.
Morgan Williams, the ball carrier, knocked down for basically no gain. Will bring up a 2nd down and 10.
North offense just cannot get anything going against this South defense. Got to talk about some of these guys on the South defensive line. Solomon Thomas, Greg Jones, Antonio Jeremiah, Charlie Hatcher, doing an outstanding job for the blue jerseys. The North can't get any kind of running game going, and the quarterbacks, Otney and Babb, really haven't had any time to throw.
Babb wants to throw. Flag down on the backside of it.
2nd time in the last couple possessions that Solomon Thomas has shaken off his blockers and gotten into the backfield to harass Babb.
They tried to go with a power eye look just to take some of the pressure from the outside off, and still got pressure from the outside.
Await the call. Looks like it is going to be a hold on the North as the white jerseyed squad continues to move backwards.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards, repeat 2nd down.
So it will be 2nd and 20. And for an offense that's struggling, that's not going to help.
And it's an offense with some weapons.
Yeah.
You know, we thought coming into this game there may be a few more weapons on the offensive side of the South, but with guys like Morgan Williams and some solid wide receivers, we haven't been able to call Brandon James' name yet, number 84, the fine wide receiver out of Mentor. Dave Chudowski talked to Steve Trevisano a little bit earlier. Babb and Otney just haven't really had any time to get the ball downfield and find some of these big targets like James. You can see him at the bottom of your screen there, number 84, walking back towards the huddle.
2-minute warning now. There's 2 minutes remaining in the first half, and it's been a half dominated by the South.
All of the scoring in this contest coming in quarter number 1. The South scoring 4 touchdowns and a safety. 2 of those touchdowns coming on interception returns, short interception returns by Tyler Raplogle out of Centerville, and also Greg Jones out of Cincinnati Moeller. The other 2 touchdowns on Chris Givens' touchdown grabs, one coming from quarterback Skylar Jones, the other coming from the other quarterback in this game for the South, Chris Smith out of South Point.
And this is one of the things that this game is all about. Going on right now will be a check presentation from Grange Insurance to the Coaches Association. And what that does is it allows them to do all the scholarships that John was talking about earlier.
Rob Rismeyer from Grange Insurance giving the presentation to our friend John Rayfield, the game coordinator there in the middle, who we spoke with earlier in the quarter. Grange Insurance, a true friend of high school sports here in the state of Ohio, and a true friend of ONN, sponsoring our Grange Insurance sports site and our championship game day shows that we've done throughout the year.
Nobody does more to publicize high school sports in the state of Ohio than Grange Insurance.
Got a chance to hear from the chairman, Phil Urban, a little bit earlier, the president of Grange Insurance, and truly, the best word to describe the relationship between Grange Insurance and high school sports is friend, because they are a friend to the OHSAA, to the High School Football Coaches Association, to us here at ONN, and to high school athletes throughout the entire state of Ohio. A big thank you to Grange Insurance with a $50,000 donation. Classy move by the folks at Grange.
Babb, a little bit of trouble with the snap, handles it. And Dixon chasing him still.
Babb showing some of those wheels. He's going to be taken to Colgate, and he gets flipped up and over the barrier there. Big Antonio Jeremiah, who's one of the last guys you want to run into on this football field.
Jeremiah let Dixon chase him to him, and he said, I'm not chasing him, I'm just pushing him out of bounds.
You do the tough work, and I'll finish the job. Antonio Jeremiah, another future Michigan State Spartan. He is a heavyweight wrestler at Hilliard Darby, and he is a big young man.
Watch Dixon, Calvin Dixon, 55, chases him all the way over, and then Jeremiah just says, okay, he chased you. Now I'll finish you.
Only about a 4.8, I think, for Babb on the somersault over the barrier there.
But you see some athleticism by Babb.
Charles Babb is
exactly
a very fine athlete who's going to do strong things at Colgate University.
So it'll now be a 3rd down and 20 from the 28. Shotgun formation for Babb.
The North has found itself in these 3rd and long situations quite often today, and again, nowhere for Babb to throw, nowhere for Babb to run, and he is brought down by a host of players, including Calvin Dixon from Cincinnati Colts.
The quarterbacks for the North are getting to know the front 7 of the South way, way better than they'd like to.
And you could really see some of the frustration that's starting to settle in on Charles Babb after he flipped over that barrier over there. He wasn't mad about getting knocked out of bounds. He was mad about not being able to get the offense moving at all.
Brandon Walker on to kick it away for the North. For the South, Jordan Jarrell and Rocco Pintello are back deep as we are approaching 1:05 to go first half.
Rocco Pintello, we've called his name a few times for being back on returns. One thing we really haven't talked about is Pintello's overall great athletic ability. Jarrell is the one who takes the punt, but Rocco Pintello was leading Westerville South to an outstanding season at the quarterback position. They were 6-0 when in week number 7 he suffered a broken ankle against Lewis Central and Tangi. Really kind of submarined the rest of the season for Westerville South, one of the top Division I programs in Central Ohio. But Rocco is one of 4 future Ohio State Buckeyes, 5 if you count Bo DeLandy, who's going as a preferred walk-on, but one of 4 players who received a scholarship to Ohio State, and Rocco Pintello will be a defensive back for the Scarlet and Gray.
Ball at the 45-yard line of the South. Play action. Smith wants to throw. Looking deep down the center of the field. Incomplete.
Brandon Ramsey had his man beat, was open, but he was overthrown by just about a yard. Chris Smith, though, a very impressive arm. Gunned that ball about 50 yards in the air.
Flag down in the offensive backfield. It'll be holding against the South.
Penalties have been a bit of a problem in this game.
10 yards in the spot, still first down.
South will be moving back 10 yards and face a 2nd and 20 with 46 seconds remaining in the first half of play.
So the ball goes all the way back to the 30-yard line. So it'll be first down and 20 now. Gibbons is split to the bottom of the screen.
Skylar Jones has returned to the game at quarterback. Biddy from Middletown replacing Chris Smith.
High snap, they try to run the option. Bad pitch, Terrell picks it up and still manages to turn that into about a 4 or 5 yard gain. But boy, that didn't start well at all.
No, it could have been a big disaster for the South in the final minute of this quarter. But Jarrell able to pick it up and move the ball forward a little bit as a timeout has been called on the field. North wants an opportunity to get the ball back and try to get on the scoreboard before the end of this half. We are in the final 22 seconds of quarter number 2 with the South leading 30-0. It's been a scoreless second quarter, all 30 of the South's points coming in the first 12 minutes of the contest.
And many of them keyed by that defense in 4 turnovers. And there you see Coach Kevin Fell. Wapakoneta, he was at Lakewood High School, went to Wapakoneta, and he'll be going to Amherst Steel next year to take over a very good football program on the west side of Cleveland.
We mentioned just a moment ago Rocco Pentello of Westerville South heading to Ohio State. He is one of many Big Ten recruits in this game. Not only are 5 players in this game going to Ohio State, Rocco Pentello, Bo Delaney, Jermail Hines, Nate Oliver, and Solomon Thomas. There are 7 other Big Ten recruits, including a couple of guys going to Indiana. Eric Thomas out of Cleveland Glenville and Tyler Replogle, who had the interception return for a touchdown for the game's first points. LeBron Daniel is heading out to Iowa. 3 players going to Michigan State: Aaron Bates, Greg Jones, Antonio Jeremiah. Jones and Jeremiah have already made their name in this contest. And David Arnold out of Copley going to Northwestern. He has an interception in the game for the North School.
Shotgun formation, Jones pressured, flag down, he just throws it up. I think might be another holding call. It's in that area where the linemen were battling.
The South offense has struggled in the second quarter in comparison to quarter number 1. Haven't been able to get Chris Givens going, and really neither team has been able to establish any kind of a running game, which is a bit of a surprise considering some of the talented running backs we have in this contest.
Eventually we had a flag on the field.
Within 5 yards.
19.7 seconds remaining.
There's a call offsides on the defense. They moved it up 5 yards.
I believe it was.
So the South still facing a second down and long. Second and about 17.
Ball spotted at the 38-yard line. Smith back in. And a handoff going nowhere. There's a good job of getting penetration and making the tackle by Jordan Frank.
Nowhere to run for Bo Delaney on that play. And that will tick us down to the end of half number 1. An outstanding half of football, really, for both defenses. You can't fault the North defense a lot, even though it's trailing 30-0. 2 of those touchdowns scored on interception returns.
Yeah, the North's offense really put the South defense in some trouble. And that really, you know, once it starts snowballing, it just kind of continued on each other, a couple of turnovers, and they took very quick control of it. Let's head down to Dave Chudowski with the South head coach, Kevin Fell. Dave?
Coach Fell, just as you planned it up all week long in practice, huh?
I'll tell you, we had no idea. We suspected our defense was that good. They were killing us all week, and we knew Chris Givens was a good football player. And, you know, Chris Smith, he's a kind of a diamond in the rough. And they all kind of came together at once, you know. There's 2 even football teams, and we're up 30-0, you know, so you never know what can happen.
Obviously winning, you want to win, but this is about having fun. It's great to see the culmination of a hard week of practice come in the first half like this.
Well, we had too much fun. I thought we were getting criticized for no harder than we were working at it, but, you know, we went into it to have fun, and, you know, when you got great kids, we had a lot of fun, and I'll tell you, I'm shocked. You know, anything can happen, but we're going to win the game. But it's just one of those things, and it's great for us.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the first half. Go get them in the second half. I think shock's a pretty good word, guys.
All right, Dave. I would say so. And
so Kevin Fell suspected they had a pretty good defense, huh? I think he more than suspected. An outstanding job by that defensive line in just completely stuffing the North offense overall.
30-0, the South leads the North. It's the Ohio North-South Classic presented by Grange Insurance right here on ONN.
Today's discovery on Pediatric Health Source.
In the past year, the emergency department here at Columbus Children's Hospital has cared for more than 120,000 children. Young lives depending on often life-saving emergency medicine. That makes Columbus Children's the 3rd busiest network of emergency and urgent care centers in the entire country. The care given every hour of every day has earned Columbus Children's the Child Magazine ranking as the #2 emergency department in the nation.
As both a mom and a doctor, I know how important good emergency
emergency care is for the patients and their scared families.
A group of emergency nurses developed guidelines to keep families and children together at the bedside.
From trauma to urgent care, it's comforting for parents to discover one of the nation's biggest and best emergency and trauma centers is just minutes away.
Pediatric Health Source is an educational public service project brought to you by 10 TV, the Columbus Dispatch, and Columbus Parent.
Heavy gauge wire, cotton padding, luxurious quilted covers, Amish-built wood frames, and real working box springs combine to make our mattresses second to none. Our coils work every day to support you every night, selling direct, eliminating the middleman, and passing the savings on to you. All add up to more mattress for less money at the Original Mattress Factory.
Put an island in your life.
While gas prices are still rising, there's an island getaway that's close to home. Take the Miller Ferry to Put-in-Bay. Only $6 for adults. And kids under 6 ride free. The Miller Ferry to Put-in-Bay. An island tradition.
Abbott Diabetes Care congratulates Team Type 1 Racing to a Cure on their participation in the 2007 Race Across America. Please join us in cheering them on as they race through the state of Ohio. This elite team of endurance cyclists with Type 1 diabetes will be passing by Troy on Saturday, June 16th, and Athens on Sunday, June 17th. Don't miss your chance to follow all the action across the country as Team Type 1 races for a cure. Team Type 1, proudly monitored by Freestyle.
I joined the National Guard and never thought I'd be saving lives.
It's more than money for college. It's built my character and given me a sense of accomplishment. Now I'm on a career path and I'm the leader of my team.
I put on the uniform and I have a whole new outlook on life. Country, community, family. That's what matters most to me. If that matters to you, go to 1-800-GO-GUARD.com.
Welcome back to Crew Stadium in Columbus. You see another check presentation, this one to Children's Hospital from Grange Insurance and the Coaches Association, and the good work that goes on with the visits to Children's Hospital and the buddy program with the players, meeting their buddies, special needs players from the Columbus area that goes on all week. And once again, we are pleased to be joined by another person that's involved with the Ohio High School Football Coaches Association, Bob Brigatti, the game coordinator, another game coordinator. Bob, tell me a little bit about what role you guys have in putting this together as the Coaches Association.
Well, the Coaches Association is very prominent with it. Grange is our title sponsor. One of the things that our organization does, we have 16 regions in the state. Region 1 through 8 is in the north, 9 through 16 in the south. They meet in November. They select players from each region to nominate. We pick the coaches in December. The coaches get together over the Christmas holidays and pick the team, and we take it from there.
Now, you've been involved with this for 6 years, you said. What is it that you enjoy about it? What do you get out of doing it? Obviously, everybody that's involved with this has a passion for it. What do you take away?
I think one of the best things about it, being a part of something that is the granddaddy of all All-Star games, the 62 years of this in the history. In fact, we have alumni. I think they're here. We're in the first game, but God bless them. They keep coming. And just seeing that and seeing the great names that play, the Archie Griffiths, the Rex Kearns, recently the A.J. Hawks, the Michael Nugents, the Anthony Gonzalez, to name a few of so many. It's quite an honor to be a part of it. How we have been able to, here in the Columbus area, to intermingle with our Buddies program, the Children's Hospital. It gives our players a chance, who are so gifted, to understand the difference between can't and won't. Some of these buddies can't do things. When you and I say that, it's because we won't. We got to understand that. But it's just a tremendous opportunity for young people.
Bob, we appreciate your time. Thanks for having us. Once again, 30-0 our score, halftime of the 62nd annual Grange Insurance Ohio North-South Classic, live on O&A.
Empty nesters are downsizing these days. To some, that means a smaller house. To others, it's moving to a less populated area.
It has a CD player, an adjustable suspension. You just dial in your weight.
I'm not dialing in anything.
At Grange, we sell our policies through local independent agents. So as your needs change, Grange is there to back you.
Protect the ones you love. Call Brimner Insurance Agency in Logan at 740-385-3150.
I'm an independent marathon dealer, and I'm committed to taking care of my customers. That's why I feel so good about our improved gasolines. Now, all marathon gasolines are fortified with STP additives that provide extra cleaning power and help maintain fuel economy. Marathon gasolines with STP additives, it's something I'm proud to offer my customers. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Hi, I'm Howie Long. Being elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame was a dream come true. To go there now and see my bronze bust among the game's all-time greats, well, it's a thrill beyond description. The Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, it's simply unbelievable. Dynamic exhibits and state-of-the-art technology bring the full force of pro football right into the lap of every visitor. So take it from me, make it a point to visit the Pro Football Hall of Fame soon.
Today's discovery on Pediatric Health Source.
John, a high school pole vaulter, turned to Columbus Children's Hospital after an injury left him with a stress fracture in his back. Sports injuries in children and teens now account for at least 40% of all emergency visits. And for young athletes who are still growing, the consequences can be serious.
Kids aren't small adults. Some of their injuries are unique, having lifelong consequences if not treated properly. That's why we focus on active kids so their parents know they'll have the best sports medicine care.
Children's new Sports Medicine Center in Westerville is the first facility of its kind in Ohio dedicated to the specialized treatment and prevention of adolescent injuries. Here, John has access to the latest sports medicine technology, including high-tech virtual drills and video imaging exercises, helping improve his performance and prevent future injuries.
Pediatric Health Source is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, on your side, and by McDonald's Restaurants, partners in your community.
Welcome back, downtown Columbus, Crew Stadium, site of the 62nd annual Grange Insurance Ohio North-South Classic. And boy, the South has risen up and really done a job. The first half, 30-0. You see the lead along with Dan DeCrow, Dave Bacon, and Dan, there's the man. I mean, Chris Givens has put on a show at this All-Star game.
This is a game that has been dominated by defense, but the one guy who has really shown some statistics and shown some big plays on the offensive side of the ball has been the wide receiver Chris Givens out of Chillicothe. He's heading to Miami University. He's got a couple of touchdown catches in the contest. But other than the plays that Givens has made, this has been all defense, and both the North and the South getting the job done on defense. 6 catches, 122 yards, 2 touchdown grabs. Chris Givens has been outstanding.
Well, let's take a look at how we got to this 30-0 score. Some first half highlights there. You see the big hit. Kaufman from over at Lakota West with the big
Dropping
sack.
Charles Babb for a safety on that play.
And here comes a catch by Chris Givens, and he knows how to get open. And another catch by Chris Givens. Great move down the sidelines, then some acceleration.
And that was on a 4th and 6 play. So if he doesn't make that move and break it for a touchdown, it's a turnover. The ball's going the North way.
And here's a turnover. Putoff comes up with the fumble recovery. And then Smith goes to guess who? Givens with a nice adjustment and a catch. He just has a real good feel for how to play the position.
And then the second interception return for a touchdown. Tyler Raplogle from Centerville had one. Greg Jones from Cincinnati Moeller has one. That was right at the end of the first quarter and made the score 30-0. And there's Greg Jones again.
Wow.
Charles Babb has made some new friends this week. A couple of them that he'd rather not run into the rest of the night.
And Greg Jones, headed to Michigan State, has really played well. 30-0 our score at half. We'll be back for second half action. It's the Grange Insurance Ohio North-South Classic, the 62nd annual, live on ONN.
Days you can buy more things in more places than ever before. You'd think that would make things simpler.
I'd like a venti quad cappuccino.
But it just makes it more complicated. That's why at Grange, we still sell our auto insurance through independent agents. It's a far smoother process than buying from a stranger over some 1-800 line. It's good to know what you're buying and who you're buying it from.
In Central Ohio, call the Dressel & Evans Agency at 614-488-9723 or check out www.dresselevans.com.
Abbott Diabetes Care congratulates Team Type 1, Racing to a Cure, on their participation in the 2007 Race Across America. Please join us in cheering them on as they race through the state of Ohio. This elite team of endurance cyclists with Type 1 diabetes will be passing by Troy on Saturday, June 16th, and Athens on Sunday, June 17th. Don't miss your chance to follow all the action across the country as Team Type 1 races for a cure. Team Type 1, proudly monitored by Freestyle.
Get away to Lake County, Ohio, Lake Erie East's coastal oasis. Unwind at Lake County's premier hotels and bed and breakfasts. Visit award-winning wineries. Swing at championship golf courses. Swim at scenic beaches. Catch trophy fish, birdwatch, and hike at unique parks and nature preserves. Experience nationally renowned historic sites, family attractions, and fine dining. Enjoy a perch fish fry at the annual Lake County Perch Fest.
Here's a salute to Lake County.
Close to home, but out of this world.
Hi, I'm Coach Jim Tressel. As a college football coach, I take a lot of pride in my student athletes. I'm also proud of the Ohio National Guardsmen who serve our country, state, and communities every day. Why do they do it?
Honor.
Dedication.
Service.
Education.
Family.
Respect.
They're your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers, your community. If you want to be a part of this winning team, contact your local National Guard recruiter.
Wellington Orthopedic and Sports Medicine congratulates these athletes on their selection to the South All-Star team. Steve Bray of Cincinnati Turpin, Calvin Dixon of Colerain, Wes Schroeder of Cincinnati St. Xavier, and Kendrick Bruton and Alex Kaufman attending Miami University in the fall.
Our most amazing accomplishment isn't what we've done. It's who we've become.
Welcome back to Crew Stadium, the North-South Classic 62nd Annual. And 30-0, the North is trailing the South. And you look at the stats for the first half, and you see why. I mean, it's pretty impressive for actually both defenses, as you have said a number of times.
But what you would think is that the South would have rolled up a lot of offensive yardage with 30 points on the board, but that is not the case. -9 rushing yards for the South, which is pretty good compared to the -47 for the North. The North has just been unable to get anything going. Both of the North's first downs came by a penalty. Haven't been able to get a first down from scrimmage with the exception of penalties, and those 4 turnovers just killing the North. A couple of interceptions returned for touchdowns as the South defense has dominated every aspect of this football game.
Now keep in mind, yes, the North is down 30 points. They can score a touchdown and elect to receive to get back in this pretty quickly, and they can do that a couple of times in a row, then they have to take one off, then they can do it a couple of times in a row. So if they can get untracked and get going, they can get back in a hurry.
One of the rule variations in an attempt to keep these all-star games competitive. So if the North can find a way to score, they'll get the ball right back, maybe score again, and start to get this a little bit closer. Kevin Fell leading the South squad, looking pretty good through the first 24 minutes of action.
As we mentioned, 30-0, the South leads the North. It's the Grange Insurance 62nd Annual Ohio North-South Classic right here on ONN.
Empty nesters are downsizing these days. To some, that means a smaller house. To others, it's moving to a less populated area.
It has a CD player, an adjustable suspension. You just dial in your weight.
I'm not dialing in anything.
At Grange, we sell our policies through local independent agents. So as your needs change, Grange is there to back you.
Protect the ones you love. Call Brimner Insurance Agency in Logan at 740-385-3150.
Always searching for the right fit for your child? Even with their education, consider an online education from VCS. Interactive, flexible courses with accredited teachers, all from the safety of your home. Plus, students get free tuition, a free computer, and free high-speed internet. Make sure you find the right fit. For more information, visit vcslearn.org. VCS, virtual courses, real learning, where children come first.
This summer, treat yourself to an island getaway. It's one of the best kept secrets in the Midwest, and you don't have to travel far to get there. Discover Put-in-Bay on beautiful South Bass Island, right here in Ohio. Bring the whole family.
Adults are only $6.
Children under 6 ride free.
Some roads you travel can unravel. So take a new road for a ride and leave your worries far behind. Let's go out back tonight.
Let go of the day. Go out back tonight. Where the pasta is bold, the steaks are juicy, the chicken tender, and it all comes together perfectly. No worries.
Let's go out back tonight.
Tonight, let go.
There'll be a new road come tomorrow.
Go out back.
Hi, I'm Howie Long. Being elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame was a dream come true. To go there now and see my bronze bust among the game's all-time greats, well, it's a thrill beyond description. The Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, it's simply unbelievable. Dynamic exhibits and state-of-the-art technology bring the full force of pro football right into the lap of every visitor. So take it from me, make it a point to visit the Pro Football Hall of Fame soon.
Welcome back to Crew Stadium. You see the North squad on the field. Let's head down to the field with Dave Chudowski.
Dave, Dan, and football fans in Ohio, I bet you didn't know this. A North-South alumnus has played in all but 2 Super Bowls. There's also been 4 Heisman Trophy winners, winning 5 Heisman Trophies. I bet you didn't realize how many big names have actually played in this game. Take a look. Ohio has turned out its share of high school football superstars, and many of them have found their way into the North-South game over the last 60 years. Ohio All-Star Classic alumni have combined to win 5 Heisman trophies. 2 of them belong to Columbus Eastmore's Archie Griffin. Illyria's Vic Janowitz, Cincinnati Purcell's Roger Staubach, and Desmond Howard of Cleveland St. Joseph are the other North-South alumni to hoist the Heisman. 2 of Ohio's favorite pro players are North-South alumni. Bernie Kosar played in the 1981 game representing Boardman High School. A few years later, Chris Spielman appeared in the Classic after his standout career at Massillon. The game has been played in Canton 26 times, and several players have gone from the Classic to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, including Alliance's Len Dawson, Warren Harding's Paul Warfield, and hometown hero Alan Page. Guys, I'm going to go out on a limb and say one of these players will play in a Super Bowl. Now it's just up to you to predict which one. Back to you.
Thanks, Dave. And you see some of the alumni at the game earlier and being recognized as well. And as Bob had told us, some that had played in that first game also in attendance. So we appreciate the history. And I think Dave took the easy job. I mean, who can predict which one of these guys is going to become a superstar?
You know that there will be
some folks but who?
Go on to play on Sundays in the professional ranks.
Morgan Williams grabs the kickoff, 20. Nice cut. And he gets across 30 to the 32-yard line. And we are happy to be joined now by Rob Risenmeyer from Grange Insurance, the title sponsor, and as Dan and I had said earlier, the best friend that high school sports in Ohio has is Grange Insurance. Can you tell us why Grange gets involved so heavily with high school sports, and thank you for doing so before we get going.
Absolutely, Dave. We are very proud to be part of this event, and as you know, high school sports are so woven into the fabric of our community, and this is not only an opportunity for Grange to give back, but also for our agents. As you know, we probably have agents in every city, every town, every community across Ohio, and it's an opportunity for them to give back and be a part of the community too.
The North squad coming out throwing. Ryan Otney going deep for the first big connection of the game for the North. That's Brandon James of Menor on the receiving end of things. And Rob Risenmeyer from Grange Insurance, the relationship that you have with high school sports is outstanding. Also, we here at O&N appreciate the relationship you've had with us over the years. title sponsor of the Grange Insurance Sports Site each Friday night during the high school sports season, our championship game day broadcasts. It all kind of just weaves together into a celebration almost of the previous season and a night like the North-South Classic.
Oh, absolutely. And it's just a great opportunity for Grange to be part of it. And we really appreciate the relationship and appreciate being part of the whole program.
Otney going deep for Danny Noble, incomplete, so it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. Rob, what about, I know you and I had talked earlier in the week and you played some football. Is that kind of the philosophy behind why you get involved? Tell us a little bit about the company's philosophy.
Well, a lot of what goes on in high school sports really weaves into some of the same core values that we have at Grange. Integrity, ownership, teamwork, doing the right thing. All of these are learned on the field, and all the core values that we embrace at Grange.
This event that you've put on, it goes a week long, and some of the things that go on off the field are things that these kids will remember probably longer than this game as well.
Oh, absolutely. This is much more than an invitation to play in a game. It is absolutely an invitation to an experience, and some of the things that I got to experience this week at Children's Hospital and then with the buddies at Otterbein and all the things that went on there. What a great opportunity for the players, the buddies, and even for some of the bystanders like me.
Yeah, I was there with you, and you're right, absolutely. Just a great experience.
Just to see that take place. And then last night at the banquet, some of the buddies got to stand up and speak in front of the group, and there were not many dry eyes in the room, that's for sure.
Rob, I'm wondering if you may have gone down and spoke with the folks from the North staff at halftime, because the North is really starting to air it out, and Ryan Otney's getting a little bit more time back there. So I'm wondering if the offensive line has Grange Insurance as his partner in protection.
Well, you know
because
what?
Ryan Otney's getting a little more protection right now.
I actually told the coaches last night if they needed, and I thought my invitation to participate has come some 25 years too late. So I did let them know that if they needed a somewhat smaller and much slower defensive end by today's standards, I thought I was still ready.
Well, he had a pass interference penalty a couple plays ago, and the North, with its deepest penetration of the game, down at the 23-yard line of the South. Ryan Otney flinging the ball around, the quarterback from Fremont Ross, and the North trying to get in the end zone and get an opportunity to get the ball back and get back into this game, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's now a 2nd down and 10 from the 23. And Rob, what about having kids from all over the state? And one of the coaches touched on it. You've got country kids rooming with city kids, and they kind of all come together. That's got to be a cool thing as well.
Oh, yeah, and to see them play here tonight after knowing each other for a week. You know, and I got to be around them this week, and it certainly appeared that they had known each other much longer than that. And I had some of you talked about Barrett Brooks earlier.
Right.
You know, he came up to me last night at the banquet, and he said, "I just love you guys." And it's just a great relationship that they've got already, and this is something that they're going to remember for a long time.
Yeah, and it's interesting. The North and the South, and we had touched on it a couple times, they do everything together other than, you know, like they come out and they'll play each other, but they're housed together.
Yeah.
And there's interaction between the two teams, and I think that really goes, you know, there's a little bit more respect than if you kind of separated them and not as much animosity.
Yeah, and from what I understood, they didn't do that in the past. This is really the first year that they've had the teams together for all those events, and you know, certainly they've gotten to know not only their teammates, but the players on the other team. And again, the relationship that they have with their buddies is something they're going to remember, and something that the buddies are certainly going to remember.
Incomplete pass, Otney going for Danny Noble from Elyria. So it'll bring up a 4th and 10 from the 23, and they're going to go for it, I would think.
Got to go for it one more time. Otney lobbed the ball up, and it was just a little bit long in the pass there towards the corner of the end zone. Again, we're joined up here in the booth by Rob Rismeyer from Grange Insurance, such a great partner for high school sports here in the state of Ohio and our high school sports coverage throughout the year here on ONN.
And we'll actually get a field goal.
Got to try to get on the board and get the ball right back.
Brandon Walker, it'll be a 40-yard attempt. Snap is good, set is good, and Walker's kick, no good.
Had plenty of leg on it, though, from 43 yards. Big boot there by Walker.
Rob, we touched on it a little bit. What about the hospital visits? That's something that it's really touching. Anybody that's been around those kind of things, and you know what? It kind of puts things in perspective for the players, and that's what they mentioned as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, it gave us all some perspective when we were there. Some of those kids were able to make it out to the lawn where the players were participating in some events out there, and then those who couldn't make it out got visits from these players. And as you can see there, the players did a fantastic job in there. These kids' eyes were just wide as could be, and I think some of the players were a little bit surprised too on how they reacted themselves. So I think they really enjoyed it, and certainly the kids in the hospital did.
Yep, and that's something that can put perspective to things pretty quickly.
Gives us all a little perspective.
Brandon Ramsey catches the ball and picks up about 4 or 5 yards.
Couple of middies from Middletown hooking up there. Skylar Jones with his high school teammate Brandon Ramsey on the complete pass for 5 yards.
As a guy that was involved in many of the week's festivities, what was your favorite? What was the part that you enjoyed?
Well, I would have said before last night it was the Children's Hospital visit, because certainly that was very touching. But when I got to see some of the buddies get up and speak last night and talk about what it meant to them to develop these relationships with the players, boy, it was really hard. And I saw both of the coaches having to turn away because they were just unable to keep it together. It was very, very touching.
Tonight's game is really just the cap on just an amazing week of festivities that a lot of which are truly more important than the football game itself, as you mentioned, with the buddy program and the visit to Children's Hospital.
As I said, it's much more than an invitation to play in a game. It is certainly an experience for all of them, and as I mentioned, Grange is so proud to be part of it.
Well, Rob Rismeyer from Grange Insurance, we appreciate you coming up to the booth, chat with us for a little bit.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
We'll let you get back downstairs to watch a game.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Rob.
And that ball almost intercepted.
Nice defensive play here by the North squad. Jones tried to sling one into Givens, and I believe
that's Will Sheeler.
That Will Sheeler had end zone on his mind before he caught the football.
He was thinking the third defensive touchdown of the game.
Because he knew that there was nobody going to touch him if he gets that catch and takes it to the end zone.
Brings up a 4th down and 5 from the 25, and Bates will come on to kick it away. Aaron Bates, one of the guys headed to Michigan State to continue his college football. And a little bit of a wobbly kick, and it is taken by Michael Bush. Bush carrying a defender and gets out near the 40-yard line. 7:19 to go, third quarter. 30-0. The South leads the North. It's the Grange Insurance Ohio North-South Classic right here on ONN.
People come to Bloomberg Eye Center. They just can't wait to tell their family and friends about their experience. A few months ago, we had a gentleman come in for LASIK. 2 weeks later, his twin brother came in. They both wore glasses for over 40 years. The next thing you know, his wife came in, and then his daughter. It became a regular family affair. Now, his last daughter's coming all the way from Kansas to have LASIK surgery at the Bloomberg Eye Center. And we're going to do a great job for her, too.
Call Bloomberg Eye Center 888-539-EYES. Like thousands of others, you'll see.
There was a moment there where I thought, that was a pretty doggone good throw. I can probably play.
My sophomore year against Thomasville, I only got 3 balls. And those 3 went for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. I knew right then that I was on my way.
And the stadium was rocking. It was packed. Got a total of 400-some yards. That's when I knew.
When people stopped calling me Archie's boy, started calling me Peyton, that was a big moment for me.
Welcome back to Crew Stadium, the 62nd annual Grange Insurance Ohio North-South Classic, right here on ONN, and it's been a defensive-dominated affair, and the defense of the South has kept that offense of the North and Bob Spates' crew in check. But again, North with good field position as they get the ball on the 40-yard line of the South, 1st and 10. Trying to get on the board, and if they get on the board, they can get the ball back and try to do it again.
All kinds of movement on the line there. Chris Bivens released a little bit early, or rather, I'm sorry, Dan Noble, the tight end from Elyria. It's going to be a false start on the North squad. Charles Babb back in the game at quarterback for the North after Ryan Otney was able to move the team down the field into scoring range before a missed field goal ended the North's last drive.
And it's going to be motion on the offense, so it'll cost him 5. Back to the 45-yard line, along with Dave Chajowski down on the field and Dan DeCrow. I'm Dave Bacon, and it's been an interesting defensive display for the South so far. Shotgun formation, fumble, and I think Babb picked it back up.
He did, and I don't think Morgan Williams had any idea that was going to be a handoff. I think he was expecting play-action fake unless Babb just dropped the football because Williams just kept running forward and never grabbed it.
Or he knocked it out of his hand with his thigh as he was running by.
I know it's only a one-night affair, but it's great to have high school football back here on ONN after a successful season last year, which saw 6 great state champions crowned, and we're looking forward to getting the football season started up in another month and a half towards the end of August, and exciting stuff.
Should be interesting. 2nd and 18.
Boy, it seems like the North has been at 2nd and long all night.
Throwing it up and incomplete is Bivens, the intended receiver, but Babb had no time to set up and throw anything other than trying to get rid of it.
Saw the Middletown connection a little bit earlier. That would have been the Alliance Aviator connection had Charles Babb been able to hook up with wide receiver Chris Bivens.
And there is the nose tackle, Calvin Dixon, that's been very good. Let's head down to the field with Dave Chudowski. Dave?
All right, guys, I'm with Mike Mock. He's the treasurer of the Ohio High School Football Coaches Association. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame, the 08 class inducted yesterday for the coaches. Just talk about a few of the guys.
Well, we had an outstanding group that we're inducting in the Hall of Fame this year, and that's been a great event that we've hosted at the Ohio State Football Clinic in April. 3 of our inductees, 2 of them are involved in this game. Kevin Fell from Wapakoneta High School and Wally Hood, the All-Star Game site coordinator. So we have an outstanding class. It's a great venue and a great opportunity to showcase some of the best coaches we've had coaching the state of Ohio over the past several years.
All right, Mike, we're going to head back up to the booth because we got another touchdown in this game. Thank you very much.
Okay,
all right, Dave, and it was Babb to Danny Noble from Elyria High School. Let's take a look at it. Babb has time to throw this time, sets up and fires a strike. Danny Noble, a little bit of a push off there, but a good job, and he extends in for the touchdown. 48 yards to make it 30-6.
In double coverage, a fine throw by Babb, laying it up where only Noble could get it, and then the big stretch for the score. The North finally on the board midway through quarter number 3.
Walker's point after, right down the middle, that makes it 30-7. And keep in mind, since they're down by more than 9 points, the North can elect to get the ball back.
And they've got the opportunity to do this twice in a row. So now the North is down 30-7. They're going to take the kickoff. Most assuredly, Bob Spate's going to want the ball back. Offense has started to move a little bit in the 3rd quarter. They score a touchdown, it's 30-14. Get the ball back again. Score a touchdown, it's 30-21. We might have an interesting 4th quarter, Dave.
There you go. Just like we drew it up.
We said blowouts weren't expected in this game, and for the first 2.5 quarters, we were unbelievably wrong. But now, the North is ready to start the offense moving.
Let's take a look. We talked a lot about some of the guys that are going to be playing at Ohio State, and there you see them. Pintello, Delande, Jermel Hines, Nate Oliver, Solomon Thomas. It's a pretty nice recruiting class that we're seeing, and we actually had a chance to talk to Nate Oliver about heading to go to Ohio State.
We were all pretty close, before the game, but I think this game really brought us closer together. And we just been messing around because the North mess with the South kids, just trash talking, but it's been fun.
And Nate Oliver from Lakewood St. Edward was the very first person to commit in Jim Tressel's 2007 class. It was on signing day the year before when Nate Oliver made his verbal commitment to Ohio State and part of the class that will enroll at OSU in the fall.
And he just returned the kick to the 27-yard line as if on cue. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line for the North.
The thing is, a lot of those Ohio State guys have been kind of quiet in this game so far. Solomon Thomas has had a few QB pressures, but Bo Delandi hasn't been able to get things going. Really, none of the running backs have been able to break anything off. And Rocco Pintello mostly on kick return duty.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line now. You see the time remaining 3rd quarter. Otney back in as the quarterback out of the shotgun. And not much there. Across the 35, maybe a pickup of a yard.
Has a pop and plenty of blue jerseys in on that play, including number 16, Tyler Reflogel from Centerville. He made the first big play in this contest, the interception and the return for a touchdown that got the South squad rolling towards that 30-0 lead.
No gain on the play, so it'll be 2nd down and 10. Joey Winters was the ball carrier. There you see
the North scoring drive, that 48-yard touchdown pass. Charles Babb to Dan Noble, getting the North on the board, trailing still 30-7.
Shotgun formation. Otney completes it.
We're going to have a face mask flag there at the end. The catch was made by Paul Hershey out of Fremont Ross.
So Fremont Ross connection there.
So we've seen a few of them. I don't think we're going to get the South Point connection, though, because Chris Smith doesn't have a teammate in the game. All the other quarterbacks get to throw to one of their own guys, though.
And let's take a look at the face mask. Right there, Replogle just got his finger caught on the face mask.
He's held on to it for just a little bit too long.
5 yards.
Only a 5-yard penalty, though, but it is a first down. Another first down for the North via the penalty route. Both of the North's first half first downs came by a penalty. They have moved the ball much better, though, in half number 2.
Ball spotted out at the 39. First and 10.
Another touchdown drive here by the North, and we're going to have an interesting fourth quarter, I think.
A little bit of a low step. Otney looking up top. Noble covered well.
Nick Otney really throws a nice football. Good coverage, though, down on the other end. Phil Collier from Piqua wearing number 24. And Phil Collier's a do-it-all kind of guy. He is going to West Liberty to play his college football, but Collier is a guy who is electric on the offense and defensive side of the ball for Piqua.
You see Dan Noble headed to Toledo, and Toledo's doing pretty well out of this game. They get Morgan Williams, they get Dan Noble. He had the touchdown catch. He is a tight end, 6'5", 215. They'll probably put a little bit of muscle on him.
Up a little bit.
He can run, he can catch. He is definitely a weapon that should do very well for the Toledo Rockets. And we have an equipment issue, so that's the timeout. As you see, one of the linemen getting buckled up and ready to go. As that's Nick Shepis from Walsh Jesuit, headed to Boston College. And if you are on the offensive line these days, you definitely want to be strapped up tightly.
Because especially against the South defensive line, they have been busting through that line of scrimmage with regularity, but not nearly as much in half number 2 until now.
Intercepted. Tries the shovel pass, and it's Josh Copeland, and he somersaults into the end zone for the touchdown.
Now that obviously was a bad decision by Nick Otney. Josh Copeland's second interception of the game, the third interception returned for a touchdown by the South. The pressure was heavy on Otney, and he tried to get rid of the ball to avoid the sack.
And there you see just kind of...
But he flips it right into the arms of Josh Copeland.
Was trying to make something happen.
And I don't think if Nick Shepis would have caught that ball, he was going to go very far either.
No, and Otney just, you know, he's trying to make a play, and you kind of understand it because of the situation of the game, but Josh Copeland is the one who turns that into a play, and the third defensive touchdown for the South makes it 36-7.
You saw St. Henry's Andy Putoff there celebrating with Josh Copeland. He was one of the guys putting the heavy pressure on Ryan Otney to force him into the bad decision.
And adding the point after, Aaron Bates puts it through. 37-7, the South. 3 defensive touchdowns, leading by 30 now. And take a look at Josh Copeland, another guy headed to the MAC.
Josh Copeland has played a very impressive football game tonight. A couple of interceptions. He's come up with a couple of strong tackles. Also played quarterback for the Fairborn Skyhawks. He is an all-around athlete, first-team Mid-Miami League, and he's a guy who will make an impact with the Buffalo Bulls.
Keep the memories alive of today's game and the experience. You can order a copy of today's game exclusively from GameTapes.com for just $19.99. You can also order the best of our weekly big games and past championship games available as well. Just visit GameTapes.com and order today.
We talked earlier about all of the great state championship contests. We just mentioned Andy Putoff a moment ago. He scored 3 touchdowns in St. Henry's Division V state championship win last year over Moore and JFK, the great Hilliard-Davidson Mentor game. You can order all of those games on DVD by going to GameTapes.com. Memories to truly cherish for a lifetime, especially if you were lucky enough to have been a participant at Massillon's Paul Brown Tiger Stadium or Canton's Fawcett Stadium and play for a state championship.
So the South will kick it off, and Aaron Bates tees it up. Nate Oliver and Michael Bush are back deep.
Just when we thought the North was going to make a little bit of push to get back into this game, the touchdown, go ahead and take the kickoff on our special rule adjustments for the evening. Another turnover, the 5th of the night for the North offense. 3 of them have been directly converted into touchdowns, and the South lead is stretched right back out to 30 points.
Nate Oliver from a yard deep.
He's got
some room, breaks the tackle, and he's brought down by fellow teammate Rocco Pentello at the 39. And those two were giving each other grief.
I think there was a little yapping at the bottom of that pile. Rocco just planning Nate Oliver, 2 guys who will be suiting up for Jim Tressel this year.
And he has a seam, and right there it looks like he could go somewhere. Dixon gets an arm on him, and then Rocco wraps him up, and yeah, you can be sure he was giving him a
Kendall
little.
Stinson just kind of slowed him down, he set him up, and Rocco planted him. Good run back, though, all the way out to the 39-yard line, so some solid starting position, field positions for the North. Charles Babb back at a quarterback.
And he wanted to run. It looks like he looked like he lost his footing there as he was trying to make a move.
Bob Spade's been pretty consistent, really, about alternating his quarterbacks in and out on every series, whether it was a successful series or, in the case of the last one, the Ryan Otney interception, one that was not quite as successful.
As we approach 2:35 to go, third quarter. Ball at the 39-yard line, so a loss of a yard. 2nd and 11. Little option look, and pursuit is just there. There's nowhere for Babb to run.
There's been nowhere for anybody to run, really, on either side. The defense is continuing their domination in this contest. Charles Babb looks like he's going to get no gain, and it'll be 3rd and 11.
And all the Ohio State football fans, that's right.
It's not a bad way to spend a week in June. Come on down to Columbus, go to football camp, learn from Jim Tressel and the gang.
Inside of 2 minutes to go. Third quarter. 4 wide receiver set on a 3rd down and 11 now. And take a look at the South defense. We've touched on it. There it is in print, and it's every bit as impressive there as it is on the scoreboard.
That should really be 4 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, and a fumble recovery.
And a safety.
They're turning the ball over so quickly we can't even keep up with them.
Offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
The North offense moving backwards again after the delay of game penalty.
So now it's 3rd down and 16. And it's been a case of the North gets a little bit something going on offense, and then they just get pushed back. And then they get something going, and then they can't sustain anything.
Kevin Fell told Dave Chudowski at halftime, we suspected we had a pretty good defense, and those suspicions have been validated tonight. Greg Jones again all over Charles Babb.
Throws it up.
Gets away.
Brandon James can't bring it down as he is popped.
Outstanding coverage back there by Philip Collier from Piqua. The only reason Collier didn't intercept that pass is because he's 5'11", and Brandon James is 6'2". And I think if you watch the replay of this, there's a little bit more than a 3-inch difference because Brandon James was towering over Collier, and Collier just couldn't quite get up high enough to make the pick. James playing some good defensive offense down there, down the field.
And then Hershey came back and was playing the defender to make sure Collier didn't intercept it. It brings up a 4th down and 16 and a punting situation now for the North. Pentello is back deep along with Jordan Jarrell. And Brandon Walker will kick it away for the North. Nice high spiral kick. Jarrell grabs it, heads back to the 9, and he'll get out to the 20. Let's head down to Dave Chudowski on the sidelines. Dave?
Guys, that last touchdown brought a lot of subplots to this one. First of all, Ryan Otney is done for the night. His shoulder pads are off. He got beat up pretty bad on that play, and he is done. On the sideline, I heard Nate Oliver say he's going to take one back. He feels he's going to do it, and he's proclaiming he'll get one before the end of this game. And also, the North player is not too happy with that somersault into the end zone by Copeland. We'll see how the rest of this one plays out.
Well, if the North is going to get back into this one, and if Nate Oliver is going to take one back, you better hurry, because we are in the final minute of quarter number 3.
Tamawi McGee, no running room, and he is pushed back at the 16-yard line. And they'll give him forward progress out to the 18.
Maurice Jones of Youngstown Ursuline in on the initial hit. With the clock winding down in quarter number 3, the South continues to roll with a 30-point lead with 12 minutes to go, Dave.
It's the Ohio Classic, the North-South Classic, presented by Grange Insurance on ONN.
I'm an independent marathon dealer, and I'm committed to taking care of my customers. That's why I feel so good about our improved gasolines. Now, all Marathon gasolines are fortified with STP additives that provide extra cleaning power and help maintain fuel economy. Marathon gasolines with STP additives, it's something I'm proud to offer my customers. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Abbott Diabetes Care congratulates Team Type 1 Racing to a Cure on their participation in the 2007 Race Across America. Please join us in cheering them on as they race through the state of Ohio. This elite team of endurance cyclists with Type 1 diabetes will be passing by Troy on Saturday, June 16th and Athens on Sunday, June 17th. Don't miss your chance to follow all the action across the country as Team Type 1 races for a cure. Team Type 1, proudly monitored by Freestyle.
Well, Dad's one hard-working dynamo. It's Father's Day, let him know. Dad, let your work and worries go. Let's go out back tonight.
Let go this Father's Day. Go out back, where fresh salmon is grilled moist and tender, and the steaks are thick and juicy. No worries, we're open early for Father's Day.
Let's go out back tonight.
This Father's Day, we're open at 11.
What a way to make your Father's Day.
Welcome back to Crew Stadium and the Grange Insurance Ohio North-South Classic here in Columbus. The final 12 minutes underway. Out of the shotgun formation, it's Smith, pump fake, and he's going to be sacked. LeBron Daniel gets the sack, and he had Chris Givens down the sideline. That's who he was looking for.
LeBron Daniel out of Cleveland Glenville, part of the Tar-Blutter trio that's playing in this game. High school teammate of current Iowa Hawkeye Arvell Nelson, who also went to Glenville, Derek Smith and Chris Roll, along with another current Glenville player who's going to Iowa, Bruce Davis. So LeBron Daniel, when he arrives in Iowa City, is going to have plenty of friends from the Cleveland area to get him acclimated to Hawkeye country.
Shotgun formation, loss of 7 on the play. Smith rolling out. Daniel can't bring him down from behind, but Eric Thomas in there, and a host of defenders. Vaqueris and Oliver also coming, and it'll bring up 4th and long in a punting situation for the South.
Chris Smith taking a couple real licks there as you take a look at Ryan Otney, the Fremont Ross quarterback, with the shoulder pads off. As Dave Chudowski told you, towards the end of the 3rd quarter, Charles Babb will be manning the quarterback position for the duration of this game for the North squad. Babb does have the 1 touchdown pass of the game for the North. It was a 48-yard bomb to Dan Noble. Came in the 3rd quarter, the only points of the game for the North squad.
Bates lines up a couple yards deep in his end zone, and Michael Bush is waiting to return it for the North. A little bit of a low snap, handled by Bates. High floating kick. And Bush lets it hit, and it will go all the way to the 42-yard line. 43-yard kick.
You know, Dave, long winning streaks are hard to come by in this North-South Classic Series. The North had won the last 2 games, beating the South last year 34-13. The last time a team has been able to string together more than 2 wins, the North from 1993 through 96 won 4 in a row.
And this will be the last high school game for all of these players. Let's take a listen to Greg Jones. He's headed to Michigan State about the memories of high school football.
I was a sophomore. That was my first year on varsity, and we had played Elder in the pit, and in Cincinnati, like playing Elder as a pit is like a big deal because like that's the best place to play, and just all the fans, and it was just like I'll never forget. That was probably the like most important moment in my life.
And there you see, we had mentioned he's headed to Michigan State. 53 losses for 53 tackles, 23 for loss, 11.5 sacks.
Well, I think Greg Jones will put this game right next to some of his performances in the pit. An interception return for a touchdown, a sack. He has been one of the more impressive players on the field in this Ohio North-South Classic.
And Babb was sacked for a 10-yard loss on first down, so it'll be 2nd down and 20.
One of Greg Jones' Queen City brothers, Calvin Dixon, was in on that sack along with Charlie Hatcher from Hamilton.
And Calvin Dixon has played a heck of a job at nose tackle. Tossing it up for Noble, and Collier defending back there wouldn't let him get a lick on him.
Phil Collier's done an outstanding job at defensive back throughout this entire game. Part of the reason that the North offense hasn't been able to get things going, some struggles maybe on the offensive line. Another part, outstanding coverage from the defensive backs on the South squad.
So now the North offense is looking at a 3rd down and 20. Babb, as you mentioned, will be the quarterback the rest of the way as Otney was injured on that last interception return for a touchdown where he was scrambling. 4 wide receivers set. Joey Winters is the lone back. Babb rolling out. And put off, can't bring him down. Keeps going back, and Jones gets part of the sack along
Solomon Thomas in on the play.
Thomas. Some Big Ten guys teaming up there. And
the Southwest connection and defense. Greg Jones, Solomon Thomas, Kendall Stinson, although he's not really from Southwest Ohio, coming from Newark, but there have been plenty of guys from the southwest corner of the state. I mean, Calvin Dixon have just really made big plays.
Yeah, and you know, Babb spun out of one tackle, and there was 3 other guys waiting for him, and that's kind of been the story of the night. That
you know, another story of the night, Dave?
All over the place.
All of the long yardage situations the North has been in, but they've outdone themselves now. It is 4th and 43.
Minus 84 yards rushing.
That number's almost incomprehensible. We haven't seen one single run of more than what, maybe 5 or 6 yards of rush from scrimmage?
Pintello grabs it, and Rocco Pintello will get it across the 45 down to the 44-yard line.
That was the second time Andy Putoff almost had a
he almost
punt.
blocked it. Yep. He came darn close and did a nice job. Flags after the fact.
Little frustration on the field. I think that was Dan Dario who was in a little bit of a skirmish there. Hey, we have talked throughout the entire evening about all of the different programs that have gone on during this week, one of which has been the Buddy program, and Rob Rissmeyer from Grange Insurance talked about it so well. The Buddy program, a lot of Special Olympians from the Central Ohio area have buddied up with all of the individual players on both the North and the South roster, and one of those buddies is with our Dave Chudowski.
Well, Dan, I have a lot of buddies here, and one of them is Gerald Cook, and you're the game coordinator, and we have a lot of buddies here. Tell us a little bit about the buddy coordinator. Obviously, that's something special that goes along with the game.
It is a wonderful part of our game that we added last year. Dick and Sue Jones are 2 other volunteers from the Coaches Association that help us with this, and these young people have been with us all week. They showed up Monday for Media Day, and then Wednesday they were back with the help of the National Guard. We played all kinds of games and had a big picnic up at Otterbein College. And then Friday we had our banquet. Now they're out here with their players cheering them on for victory.
And they all have jerseys, and I think I saw they all got gifts at the beginning of the game. I mean, there's a lot that goes on.
There is a lot. The jerseys were sponsored by Grange Insurance, and Children's Hospital donated the plaques for all the things, and then these guys had something for their players. So it's just been a fantastic week. We're real excited to have them here as part of this game, and we hope it continues for many, many years to come.
And each of the buddies really created a bond with their player, didn't they?
They really do. I've talked to people who said that their buddies have been contacting them from last year. Matter of fact, one of the kids called him every single day while he was trying to learn to ride a bike. His player called him until he learned to ride his bike. He called him every night to ask him if he did it, and that was from last year's game. So they keep in touch with everybody and everything that's going on, so that's really great. We're excited to have them here.
And this is the 2nd year, and you're going to continue doing it, I'm sure.
We are going to continue to do it. A lot of these kids have been back for 2 years now, so we're real excited about it.
Hey, buddies, what do you guys think? Is this exciting?
Yeah!
Woo! All right. For Dave and my buddies, back to Dave and Dan. You guys are my buddies, too.
All right, Dave. And that is a great program.
Absolutely. Lucky guy to be surrounded by a bunch of kids down there who are enjoying this football game and had a great experience to remember for years to come this week. congratulations to the folks, the buddy coordinator, and everybody who got that program up and running last year.
Tamawi McGee gets the handoff, and after some troubles with the exchange, he rips down inside the 15 to the 14. It'll be a first down.
10-yard gain. I think that's our first play from scrimmage. It's gone for more than 10 yards on the ground. We've had a few long passes, but Tamawi McGee kind of breaking one off there.
Wasn't without struggle, as the handoff there was bobbled, and McGee somehow got it from the quarterback, got through the hole, and picked up 10.
South has been moving the ball down the field since that last punt. We did have a pass completion from Skylar Jones to B.J. Reed during the time that Dave was down on the field with his buddies, so I want to make sure that we get B.J. Reed's name in for the first time tonight after that catch.
Jones up under center this time. Bo Delandi will get it, and Delandi is going to be met by the interior of the defense.
The holes for Bo Delandi tonight, not quite as big as they were up in Canton back in December when he ran for all of those yards, 236 yards, 5 touchdowns for Hilliard Davidson in winning the state championship. Bo Delandi ran for 2,250 yards his senior year, 25 touchdowns, and he was only honorable mention All-Ohio.
What do you have to do to get All-Ohio there?
Well, that was part of the thing, but
Right.
really you could take that all the way across Hilliard Davidson, a team that really was never respected throughout the entire year. The Central Ohio Division I schools, maybe not quite as powerful as what we see in Cleveland and in Cincinnati, and people kept waiting for Hilliard Davidson to lose. They beat Cincinnati Colerain in the state semis, they beat Mentor in the championship game, and won the state title with a 15-0 record.
And there's Delandi trying to get the corner. Delandi not going to do it, is coming up to knock him out of bounds.
Jermail Hines in on that play, number 18 out of Cleveland Glenville. He will be Bo Delandy's teammate at Ohio State.
And there you see Bo Delandi, and 2,200 yards in your only honorable mention, and 25 touchdowns, and 3,650 career rushing yards is good number.
And he plays in an offense, or played in an offense there at Hilliard Davidson that just ran the ball. Look at the wide splits on the offensive line. And this is Bo Delandi going in for the game-winning 2-point conversion in double overtime that gave Hilliard Davidson the first state championship in school history. And it was just pandemonium and chaos on the field after that, after the Wildcats got that great win.
And Chris Gibbons trying to go up, and
think that's going to be offensive?
I think so. David Arnold had good position there.
Great coverage by David Arnold out of Copley there on Chris Gibbons. Chris Gibbons has been much quieter in half number 2 than he was in the first half.
He's probably tired. He got an entire game and a half workout in that first quarter.
6 catches, more than 100 yards, and 2 touchdown grabs, and it is Gibbons who does get whistled for the pass interference call. 4:49 left to play in this one, with South with the 30-point lead and marching towards another score.
I would say the North defense paid special attention to where number 7 was lining up after that first quarter showing.
Yeah, and you look at the scoreboard and you see the 37 points on the board, but it was the South defense that scored 23 of them. The North defense has really played a pretty good football game, has stuffed the South running attack. Guys like Tamawi McGee and also Bo Delandi and Andy Putoff really haven't been able to get anything going on the ground. They have hit some big passes, though, and it's been part of what has propelled the South to that 30-point advantage.
15-yard penalty and a loss of down, so it's now 4th and 23 from the 27. And Smith back in, and he has Delandi open. Touchdown! Nice job by Smith. Delandi found the soft spot. Smith looked off the defense and found him wide open.
Now, Bo Delandi scored all those touchdowns for Hilliard Davidson, but they were all on the ground. We don't have all of the complete stats in front of us, but I'd love to know if Bo Delandy's ever caught a pass in his high school career, because Hilliard Davidson just flat never threw the football.
Nice
but Delandi broke wide open. Smith found him after the pump fake, and he may have forgotten that the goal line was still another 5 yards away after he made the catch.
Smith did a nice job of pump faking the safety off of Delandi. Delandi did a nice job of getting into the open space, and it adds up to a nice touchdown and a 43-7 lead.
Chris Smith's second touchdown pass of the game. The young man from South Point High School, who will be playing his college ball at Marshall, delivers another TD pass. Bo Delandi gets to the end zone here in front of his home fans in Central Ohio, and it is another score for the South.
Bates point after. No good.
Oh, can't make it a perfect night. After converting the first 5, that kick wide left.
4:28 to play.
So 4:28 remaining, and it's 43-7, South leading. And we want to remind you that ONN is committed to high school sports in Ohio for more than 10 years. O&N is as much a part of Friday nights as the games themselves. This fall will be better than ever. We've expanded game day and big game coverage on Friday and Saturdays, plus the most complete scores and highlights show in Ohio. O&N is Ohio's channel for high school sports since 1996.
The Grange Insurance Sports Site will be back again this fall. Our good friends Jerry Rudzinski, the former Ohio State linebacker, and JJ from jjhuddle.com. Big games on Friday nights. No place you're going to find better high school sports coverage than right here on O&N. And we said thank you already once, but we'll say it again. Thank you to Grange Insurance for all of their great support of high school sports, not only here on O&N, but everything throughout the state of Ohio.
Let's head down to Dave Chudowski on the sidelines. Dave?
All right, guys, we've been talking all night long about the buddy program, and I have one of them here now. What's your name?
Gabriel Genovese.
All right, and who's your buddy?
Barrett Brooks.
All right, that's number 77. You got his jersey. What position does he play and what school?
Offensive line, and he goes to school at Columbus Wesleyan.
All right, how about that? Now, great stories all week long with this program. Yesterday, Gabriel was one of the speakers at the banquet. Now, the microphone was too tall. Tell us what went on last night when you couldn't reach the microphone to speak at the banquet.
Well, Barrett came up, and he picked me up so I can speak.
How'd that make you feel?
Awesome.
How's this whole program, how's this whole week been for you and all the buddies?
Exciting. It's been really fun. I couldn't wait until Saturday night. It's been awesome.
And you've been rooting, I see. I mean, even with the score 43-7, you want more points on the board, don't you?
Yes, I do.
All right. The buddy program, really excellent. Gabriel and everybody else, congratulations. What a great program. Guys, back to you.
All right, Dave, thanks very much. I had the chance to talk to Barrett Brooks, and he is unbelievably articulate, just a great guy. And he talked a little bit about the buddy program as well.
Oh, and that was just a huge.
The person I have, his name is Gabriel. He's a wonderful young man. He's such a small little guy, and he wears this big number of 77. He doesn't look it, we were in line to get something to eat, and he had this little pasta and all this, and I'm looking at my tray and his tray. I'm like, oh my, I'm big.
Barrett Brooks, the kind of guy who's always got a smile on his face. You could see that was genuine joy when he gave Gabriel a big hug there on the sidelines and started to lift him up. The kind of stories that are outstanding here at the North-South Classic. Barrett Brooks, 6'4", 305-pounder, heading up to Findlay to play for the Oilers. First team All-OCC, which is an impressive feat in the always strong Ohio Capital Conference.
Morgan Williams trying to run the football, and as has been the story pretty much all night, the South defense there.
Solomon Thomas in on that tackle. Solomon Thomas is a young man from Westchester, Lakota West, going to Ohio State. 6'5", 225, a defensive end. Needs to add a little bit of bulk. Might see Solomon Thomas redshirt this year in Columbus, but he has the athletic ability to really be a force for Ohio State in the years to come.
And he has the body type to add a little bit of bulk and be just a dominant defensive end. Because he's quick, he's athletic, he's everything you'd want to be. You just like him to be a little bit bigger. Babb gonna air it out, looking for Brandon James down the sidelines. James can't come down with it. Stinson in coverage.
Kendall Stinson, another guy who has really played well on the defensive side of the ball for the South, the 5'9" player out of Newark, who's headed up to the Canton area to play his college football for Walsh.
That'll bring up a 4th down and 7 in a punting situation for the North All-Stars.
Babb had some time to throw, and he was going to the big guy, Brandon James, down the sideline. Ball hung up just a little bit too long, and it gave Stinson the opportunity to get back there and make the play on defense.
Back deep, Rocco Pintello and Jordan Jarrell. And Walker will kick it away, and Putoff gets pressure on the kick again. Pintello fumbled, picked up, and recovered by the South. Is getting on the football was Casey Wendell. Nice job by Wendell. 53-yard kick, and Wendell with the recovery.
Casey Wendell was a fine quarterback this last year for Columbus Wesleyan. Led Wesleyan into the playoffs, a school that doesn't get to the playoffs very often. And he was a fine two-way player on both sides of the ball for Wesleyan.
So we have 2:33 remaining. out of the shotgun formation. Jones gives it to Tamawi McGee. McGee bounces it outside and gets out near the 30-yard line. Another longer run than we've been used to seeing. And that was only about 8 yards.
We've talked about the Ohio North-South Classic being the longest running high school football all-star game in the country. 62nd year. If the game ends as it is right now, which it probably will at 43-7, most lopsided game in the history of the series.
And we're at the 2-minute warning. It's the Grange Insurance Ohio North-South Classic right here on ONN. So far, it's been all South.
We're playing San Diego. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, and puked in between. And that's when I knew it.
I felt like I was playing with little kids and I was a grown man, like Superman.
I ran the fastest 40 at the camp, and I was still 15 years old. So that's when I knew I was going to be pretty good. Oh, yeah.
Wellington Orthopedic and Sports Medicine congratulates these athletes on their selection to the South All-Star team. Steve Bray of Cincinnati Turpin, Calvin Dixon of Colerain, Wes Schroeder of Cincinnati St. Xavier, and Kendrick Bruton and Alex Kaufman attending Miami University in the fall.
Have the ADD thing to where I can't really pay attention that well. I might as well just drop out.
Dropped out of high school my junior year.
I was hanging out with some people. Now I realize I shouldn't have. My parents were the people that helped me the most. I need them to know that it really does help me, that they're there for me.
And it has been quite a night in Columbus for the South All-Stars as they lead the 62nd annual Grange Insurance North-South Classic 43-7. And cutting through there, Jordan Jarrell rips off a big run. He's at midfield. Jarrell at the 40. A nice cut back again down to the 30. Jordan Jarrell puts on a burst of speed and takes it in for the touchdown. 70 yards on the run for Jordan Jarrell.
We were waiting for a big play to occur on the ground. It is Jordan Jarrell from Pickerington Central who gets it done, breaking off the huge 70-yard touchdown run, getting to the end zone, making him the 6th player to get into the end zone tonight for the South squad.
And just take a look. A nice cutback to throw the defenders off, and then just speed. Accelerates. 30, 40 yards into the run, and he's still able to kind of put on a burst to get away from the defender.
Jordan Jarrell rushed for more than 2,000 yards his senior year at Pickerington Central, led the Tigers to the Division II state championship game, where Pickerington Central fell to the Piqua Indians in the championship contest.
Bates on to try the point after, and he is right down the middle.
50-7. We mentioned earlier, right before the 2-minute warning, the most lopsided game in the 62-year history of the Ohio North-South Classic. Previous to that, it came in 1982 when the North beat the South 32-0. But also with that touchdown, first time any team in the North-South Classic has ever hit the 50-point mark. So the South sets another record with the highest scoring performance in the 62-year history of the event.
Our Grange Insurance most valuable player, that was a guy that did all his work in the first quarter when the South pulled away. Chris Givens from Chillicothe, headed to Miami, put on a show, catching the football right here. A nice move, and that's the one that really opened some eyes. Down the sidelines, speed, strength, balance. Here's the second one. Just a beautiful adjustment to the football. 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards receiving. Our Grange Insurance MVP.
Chris Givens had 6 catches, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns, all of them coming in the first half of play. You can see he's already given his post-game interviews down on the sidelines, even though we still have 1:46 left in the contest. Chris Givens, an outstanding performance, and I am sure that the coaching staff down in Oxford at Miami University very excited to get the young man from Chillicothe down into Yeager Stadium.
So Bates will kick it off again, and back deep, Michael Bush, along with Paul Hershey.
Deep on Paul Hershey and Michael Bush for the North.
And this one is headed to Michael Bush. He'll come out a yard deep. And flag comes in from way on the backside of things as he is brought down at the 16-yard line.
The North's 2-game winning streak in the series will come to an end tonight, but the North still has the overall advantage in the North-South Classic series. It'll be 34 to 25 to 3 with the North in the lead.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike, on the white, 15 yards. First.
And that was well behind the play as well. So it's going to cost them.
Guys are getting a little bit frustrated after giving up 50 points, and it's understandable. But again, one of the things that I think can help foster unity and not allow things to degrade towards the end of the game are that both teams worked out together.
Right.
So they have a more intimate knowledge of one another than if they had been separated throughout the week, and things might start to get a little bit more chippy if that been the case.
And you know, at this point in time, everybody on that field is a competitor, and no competitor wants to look up the scoreboard and see what they see.
Absolutely.
Shotgun formation. Babb gives it to Winters, and he's going to be brought down pretty quickly.
Still a little pushing down there. Need to make sure that the officials are able to put an end to that so that the game can end as cleanly as possible. Clock ticking down to 1:15 left in the 62nd annual North-South Classic.
How about an articulate buddy there?
Gabriel was good.
He was real good. He's going to have my job in a couple of years. As we go inside a minute.
Well, a lot of guys that we could say we were really impressed by, and Chris Gibbons, our Grange Insurance MVP, definitely one of them, but a couple guys on the defensive side of the ball for the South. And just as I was getting ready to say his name, we can say it again. Greg Jones from Cincinnati Moeller just putting the lick on the ball carrier there. Greg Jones, very impressive.
I think.
Phil Collier out of Piqua was outstanding on the defensive side of the ball. Saw some good plays from Newark's Kendall Stinson. And then also Alex Kaufman and Solomon Thomas, teammates from Lakota West, who will be continuing their football days here in the state of Ohio, one at Ohio State and one at Miami.
I think Coach D'Antonio over at Michigan State can find a way to use Greg Jones a little bit.
I think he might be seeing some playing time very early in his college career.
I think he might be able to use him a little bit in that defensive scheme he's going to run there.
One play to go as the clock ticks down.
Babb hands it off, and Kaufman makes the tackle as Winters gets out near the 15-yard line, and that will do it. Our final score, the South 50, the North 7. Gibbons and the defense, really the big stories for the
Chris Gibbons out of Chillicothe, a couple of touchdown receptions, 3 interception returns for touchdowns by the South squad. Tyler Replogle from Centerville, Greg Jones from Cincinnati Moeller, and then also Josh Copeland from Fairborn. The defenses were really the story of this game, especially the defense of the South. Congratulations to Kevin Fell and the entire South coaching staff and team as well on the 50-7 win in the 62nd annual Grange Insurance Ohio North-South Classic.
Dan and I will be back to put a final wrap on it. Our final score, the South 50, the North 7, the 62nd annual Grange Insurance Ohio North-South Classic on ONN. We'll be back after this.
Days you can buy more things in more places than ever before. You'd think that would make things simpler.
I'd like a venti quad cappuccino.
But it just makes it more complicated. That's why at Grange, we still sell our auto insurance through independent agents. It's a far smoother process than buying from a stranger over some 1-800 line. It's good to know what you're buying and who you're buying it from.
In Central Ohio, call the Dressel and Evans Agency at 614-488-9723 or check out www.dresselevans.com.
I'm an independent marathon dealer, and I'm committed to taking care of my customers. That's why I feel so good about our improved gasolines. Now, all marathon gasolines are fortified with STP additives that provide extra cleaning power and help maintain fuel economy. Marathon gasolines with STP additives, it's something I'm proud to offer my customers. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
I joined the National Guard and never thought I'd be saving lives.
It's more than money for college. It's built my character and given me a sense of accomplishment. Now I'm on a career path and I'm the leader of my team.
I put on the uniform and I have a whole new outlook on life. Country, community, family. That's what matters most to me. If that matters to you, go to 1-800-GO-GUARD.com.
The Grange Insurance North-South Classic is copyrighted by the Ohio High School Football Coaches Association. This telecast may not be reproduced or retransmitted without the express written consent of the OHFCA or ONN Television. Once again, the South winning 50-7 down on the field. Dave Chudowski has a couple of the stars. Dave?
Yeah, we start with our MVP, Chris Givens, 2 touchdowns, 6 grabs, over 100 yards receiving. What a night for you.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to God. You know, without him, you know, I wouldn't be able to do the things I did. You know, I want to say thanks to my teammates. You know, they pumped me up all week. I was injured Tuesday and Wednesday with a tweaked hamstring. But, you know, the trainer, I want to say thanks to the trainer because he really put me through a lot of good rehab, you know, and I just wanted to represent Chillicothe to the best. And, you know, I just had a good time.
Are you surprised with the outcome tonight? I mean, that was quite a blowout.
Yeah, because I saw the north side. You know, you got Nate Oliver, you got LeBron Daniel, you got all them all-stars going to Big Ten, big BCS schools, you know. And, you know, I thought it was going to be a closer game, but, you know, all week, you know, if you were there, the South team was very loose. We were into each other. We got along with each other very well. And I guess that's the outcome of the game.
A lot of things you want to do. Obviously, you want to win, but you want to have fun. But I think you kind of want to show the state what you're all about. Personally, you did that.
Yeah, but that wasn't my goal. You know, my goal was just to go out there and help my teammates. You know, I don't get into that state, who's the top guy, because we're all top guys here. If we weren't, you know, then, you know, we wouldn't be here. And, you know, I just don't like comparing myself to other people and doing things like that.
All right, congratulations. Great athlete, great character, our MVP. Let's move over now to Greg Jones on the defensive end. What a night for you.
Yeah, it was fun. It was just like getting to know everybody on the team has just been great, and I will never ever forget it. It's been great.
Are you surprised your defense was able to shut them down like you did?
No, I was not surprised by our defense at all. I felt like we had a great practice like all week long. Everybody clicks. It's just like we all think alike, and it's been a great week. Great week.
Just sum up the whole experience from the beginning on Monday to the way this thing went down tonight with the big win.
It's been like the way I would put it, just like impressed me. Like everything I've done, I was just so surprised and just reaching and doing the buddy thing. I had a lot of fun.
And for you, was it individually at all showing the state what you can do?
Oh yeah, you know, a little bit. You know, like wherever I do, you know, I give it my best, and I gotta represent like Moeller and like Michigan State and Cincinnati. So, yeah.
And you did that tonight for sure. Michigan State getting a good one, Dave and Dan. Back to you.
No doubt about it, Dave. He really showed himself against very good competition tonight, did Greg Jones.
And a very tough choice for some of the players of the game. Josh Copeland, who had the interception return for a touchdown for Fairborn, was named the South's Defensive Player of the Game. Easily could have been Greg Jones. Chris Smith getting the South's Offensive Player of the Game, the quarterback out of South Point. And, of course, Chris Givens being named the MVP. Got to let you know about the North round. Nate Oliver, Defensive Player of the Game for the North. Dan Noble, who had the 1 touchdown out of Elyria, Offensive Player of the Game for the North.
And if we look at the final stats, it tells the story of the game. Defense, defense, more defense, especially on the south side of the football. 20 total yards for the North. Minus 77 yards rushing.
Numbers that are absolutely mind-boggling. And look at the South's rushing yard, 76 yards, 70 of those on Jordan Jarrell's late touchdown run. So it shows you how well the North defense really played, even though the South scored 50 points, which is almost impossible to put the two together. But the North defense wasn't that bad tonight. The South defense, though, spectacular.
And in about 2.5 months, we'll do it all over with the kickoff of the big game on Friday night. Should be a lot of fun.
Grange Insurance Sports Site with JJ and Jerry every Friday at midnight. And it is coming up in just a few months at the end of August. And I think Dave Chudowski's got another guest down on the field. Let's get back to Dave.
Coach, what a night for you guys. An impressive win.
Yeah, you know, like we said before, it could have gone either way at the beginning of the game. And all-star games are those games you'll get demoralized quick. You know, you don't really have a team as much as you would in a normal season. They just, you know, they knew what to do when they got down, and that's what happens. But, geez, it was a hard-hitting son of a gun. I mean, we had 4 or 5 injuries, and I thought Rocco Pentello and Steve Jones, I think they got some tremendous shots in there, and it was real exciting to be on the sideline.
Most lopsided North-South game in history. I don't know if you knew that, but is that something you'll look back on like, hey, I coached that most lopsided game?
If it was 50-7 North, I wouldn't have known it any different. I thought they had as much capability as we did, and they just got down, and that's what happens. But we had some outstanding players. Chris Givens and Chris Smith, underrated, both of them, I thought. They're as good a football players as there was in Ohio. And we knew about the defense. We knew Solomon Thomas and Calvin Dixon, Steve Jones, and the linebackers were Pogel and Copeland and Kaufman. We knew they were going to be good. And I throw in Charlie Hatcher, too. I mean, they're tremendous, just tremendous.
Coach knew he had the talent, and they really showed up tonight. A lopsided victory for the South. Dan and Dave, back to you.
All right, Dave, we appreciate it, and congratulations to Coach Fell. He'll be headed up north to coach for Amherst Steel High School this year. And only 2.5 months, and we get to start doing it again on Friday nights with the big game Friday.
Outstanding for a little bit of a refresher, and the All-Star games in the summer are always something to look forward to, and another successful Grange Insurance Ohio North-South Classic with the South setting a record in the version number 62, 50 points, first team to ever put 50 points on the scoreboard in a game.
Today's game was produced by Jason Feaster, directed by Mike Bacon. We will see you back here next fall when they kick off in August. Good night, everyone. For Dan DeCrow, Dave Chudowski, this is Dave Bacon. This has been the 62nd annual North-South Classic. They decided to kick off.
Good hustle. You got to be dying.
We called it the granddaddy of all. It is the 62nd annual toss going on.
Presentation of ONN Sports. Watching ONN, the Ohio News Network.
I'm an independent marathon dealer, and I'm committed to taking care of my customers. That's why I feel so good about our improved gasolines. Now, all marathon gasolines are fortified with STP additives that provide extra cleaning power and help maintain fuel economy. Marathon gasolines with STP additives, it's something I'm proud to offer my customers. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Abbott Diabetes Care congratulates Team Type 1 Racing to a Cure on their participation in the 2007 Race Across America. Please join us in cheering them on as they race through the state of Ohio. This elite team of endurance cyclists with Type 1 diabetes will be passing by Troy on Saturday, June 16th, and Athens on Sunday, June 17th. Don't miss your chance to follow all the action across the country as Team Type 1 races for a cure. Team Type 1, proudly monitored by Freestyle.
Hi, I'm Coach Jim Tressel. As a college football coach, I take a lot of pride in my student athletes. I'm also proud of the Ohio National Guardsmen who serve our country, state, and communities every day. Why do they do it?
Honor.
Dedication.
Service. Education.
Family.
Respect.
They're your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers, your community. If you want to be a part of this winning team, contact your local National Guard recruiter.
Wellington Orthopedic and Sports Medicine congratulates these athletes on their selection to the South All-Star team. Steve Bray of Cincinnati Turpin, Calvin Dixon of Colerain, Wes Schroeder of Cincinnati St. Xavier, and Kendrick Bruton and Alex Kaufman attending Miami University in the fall.
A funnel cloud was reported. Massive wind damage. The potential exists for softball size hail.
Now, Conditions at this hour for Athens, Akron, and Cincinnati. Now, the report for Cleveland, Columbus, and Dayton. Now, Mansfield, Toledo, and Youngstown. The complete forecast is minutes away with Ohio weather on the 10s. Relevant, important, convenient. This is Primetime Ohio from the Ohio News Network.
Good evening, Ohio, and thanks for joining us. We will bring you tonight's Miss Ohio pageant in just a little bit, but first, let's get you caught up with some of the stories around Ohio with a look at Ohio News Now. New details in the theft of a state data device. Governor Ted Strickland says information about thousands of teachers, vendors, school districts, and local governments are on a backup computer storage device that was stolen from the car of a state agency intern. More layoffs are to be announced Monday for the Lorain School District. The district hopes to save about $1 million with the latest cuts to administrative positions. Last week, 246 teachers got notices. A federal judge rules the Roman Catholic Diocese of Cleveland must turn over financial records. The ruling came at the request of lawyers for two former employees accused of diverting $784,000 in church funds. The diocese is expected to appeal the ruling. The U.S. military announced an Ohio National Guard pilot was killed late Thursday when his F-16 fighter crashed shortly after takeoff in central Iraq. The pilot's family identifies him as 42-year-old Major Kevin Sonnenberg of Napoleon. A Hamilton County teen is charged with vehicular homicide, assault, and manslaughter in the death of two of his classmates. Authorities say 16-year-old Chad Metzgar turned himself in Friday. Metzgar drove the car that two Northwest High School students were riding in when they crashed on May 29th. And that's a look at Ohio News Now. Saturday afternoon, Governor Ted Strickland announced that even more sensitive information about state employees was on the storage device stolen from a car last weekend. The data backup device held bank information on local school districts and local governments in Ohio, names and bank accounts of Medicaid providers around the state, as well as information on more than 1,000 state employees who are teachers in the state teacher retirement system. Now, it also includes information on employees and their dependents in the state's pharmacy benefits management program. Laura Cole from our Columbus affiliate, WBNS, has more.
The governor says with each passing hour, investigators are learning more about what is on the device stolen from a state intern's car. That compromised information now includes bank account information for school districts and local governments.
This is a file that we use to pay local governments and school districts when we are transferring funds from the state to those enterprises.
Also affected, Medicaid providers. Their names, tax ID numbers, and bank account information are on the device. And state employees who work